Oh my god. Hello. I'm here for real now. Hey. I got OBS on a different screen than I normally do right now. So I'm like, oh, what's going on? I'm in a different world. I'm going to be looking at all kinds of weird spots. Hi, guys. How we doing? Happy March Caprice. You know what? I guess I'll move y'all back over here just for the time being until we start the show. That feels so weird to say. Let me see here. Let me make the chat nice and big so I can see all y'all. Hello Sydney, hello Liz, hello Whale, hello Lou. Our first and second sold out because I streamed earlier today. That's really funny, if that's the case. Sydney, thank you for the 7 stream streak. Never stop streaking. DM was good. Muddy was good. Hello, Kokiri, Jit. We got a lot of friendos in here already. Hello, Jay. Who's that? Oh, shit. That reminds me I need to... stream title. Super Spike Kitty Bros. I knew I was forgetting something. Sweet. Man, this man. Happy March Caprice, everyone. How we all doing? How's everyone feeling today? How's your March Caprice weeks been? We have about I'm going to start at the top of the hour, so we got about 20 minutes or so to kill here. Tell me about your March Caprice experiences so far. What's up, Muhammad? I did stream earlier today. I was live for about maybe like 6 hours, something like that. I intended to only go live for like 45 minutes to watch the direct. And then somehow I ended up here most of the day. Somebody has to crash out energy on the pod. Gotcha. Okay. Maybe it'll bang. I think it'll bang. I think it'll be a good time. Me right now. Oh shit, the mic arm just broke. That's fucked. Yo, Universe is out to get us today. I popped a fucking car tire this morning. Yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct this morning. Yeah. It was pretty good. It was actually really good. There was a lot of good stuff in there. Yeah, definitely recommend watching it. You were going to ask how? So I was driving, and then I heard a whoosh sound, and then I wasn't driving. That's the story. Oh, the sound alerts are gone. They'll be back tomorrow. The sound alerts will be back tomorrow, so will most of the point redeems. Character files, what's up, Water? That's fucking right, dude. Lou, it's all good. Thank you, though. Hi, they. I got it fixed already. It cost way too much fucking money, but I got it fixed. I got my car back. Even before I got the car back, though, I didn't really, by all accounts, I should have been pissed off. This should have been a bad mood day, but I looked at it in the other way. I'm like, I gave me a day off today and tomorrow. Fuck it. Can stream the direct. I didn't get too far from home, so I had to walk back, and I will say the walk took a little bit longer than I thought it would, and it was 30 degrees out, and I chose today to not wear a belt, so that I had an interesting morning. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Glad you're doing okay. But yeah, I mean, shit happens, right? Like, On my walk back home, I stopped at a bagel place that's walking distance from me. I got a chocolate chip bagel, so that was cool. I was looking forward to this all day. So I don't know. A rather large, annoying thing to happen. Major inconvenience and an expensive one, but it's Kingdom Hearts week. What am I going to be upset about? And we had a banger Nintendo Direct. Today's a good day. The mind over matter or whatever the fuck. I've decided for myself today is going to be a good day, and it has been. Hello, guides. Hello, Ash. Hello, Liz. Hello, Five. Happy March Capiche. Happy March Caprice. Happy March Caprice to everyone. Hell yeah. Look at all this. Have margarine. Hell yeah. Yeah. Chocolate chip and cream cheese, actually. It was very good. I was standing there for like a couple minutes, like looking at the menu that they had overhead. I'm like, is chocolate chip and cream cheese gonna be good? And then I said, fuck it. I'm like, I may as well try it. One good thing plus another good thing. Hopefully it equals one combined good thing. And it did. It was very good. Your history teacher has you so angry right now. Fight them. A belt keeps you warm? ? It would have helped keep my pants up for my walk home. That would have been nice. Tomodachi Life. Yeah, that was a big one. That was huge. That Metroid, Rhythm Heaven, Dragon Quest, Pokemon. There was a lot of good stuff in there. You like chocolate cheesecake? I'm not a cheesecake fan. Always sagging. Rude. Can we get rid of those babies? I hate them so much. Excited for Pokemon? Yeah, ZA looks like it's gonna fuck really hard. I need to watch my mouth when we hit 8 o'clock. I just realized March Caprice said to keep it cool. I'll do my best. Guys, I got like 18 minutes. Y'all want to do like an unboxing? I got, of all days to get, I got a little bit of a Kingdom Hearts thing in the mail today. The baby stays? Alright, I'll delete it myself later. To prepare for ZA, you're making a goal to complete the Pokemon games this year. White, Black, 2, and X. I think that sounds magnificent. Are you doing them on stream? Can we get rid of those pigs? Oh, God. We have a quote command now, by the way. It feels unrelated, but I figured I'd mention it. Maybe I'll even do it right now. I have been looking forward to launching this show for about 2 years. I think it's been about that long that I've had this idea just kind of chilling in the back of my brain, waiting to actually happen. So I hope you guys like it. 2. Thank you, Lou. The Pokemon games will be for off time. Okay, sweet. I like that. I love it. So I bought the Kingdom Hearts Walkman. Let me scratch out my address before I dox myself. You forgot what else you were making? Yeah, me too. It was so fast. This thing came from Japan. No, we gotta look at this. Hold on. How do I open it? It is a thing that exists. It's like, I'll show you. It looks like a Walkman. I'm sure it's gonna feel like one, but it's not actually one. Like, it doesn't play cassettes. It's an MP3 player. It's like if an iPod looked like a Walkman. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the From Japan box. I've gotten some of these before, specifically for Kingdom Hearts. How do you edit quotes? I got no clue. I don't think you can. I think you just delete them and then re-add them. The date and who said it when doing quotes. I think the out of context nature is part of the funniness, no? Because there's just supposed to be out of pocket things. Now I could go on a Kingdom Hearts walk, man. Yes. Thanks, Dad. Totally fine, not regrettable at all. Only adding quotes that Brandon has said. That feels like the idea that they were going for when we added it. Most out of pocket things. It's not out of pocket anymore. Thanks for the pin, Dad. It's why you're angry. You asked them a couple weeks ago if you could have a word bank on your Poké quiz, and they said no. Just gotta challenge yourself, and you did one bit. Just give me a word bank. And someone else said the same thing. And they said no, Liz doesn't want one. What the fuck? Are you sure they weren't just fucking with you? Rude. What? Yo, what's up, Folsey? What's good, dude? Oh, you're talking about the babies? I don't like them. They're ugly babies. I was so confident that the box was just going to open. Gosh. You know, fuck it. I'm just going to... Oh, dude, this is so cool. As you can probably tell from my fucking big-ass bookshelves of Kingdom Hearts crap, I like collecting Kingdom Hearts things, and I like getting unique things. But I also like getting functional things, like practical merch. I love practical merch. I'm such a... This is the March Caprice stream. Brandon, stay relatively PG. Don't say what you were thinking. I love practical merch. This is wrapped so well. Oh my god. He wasn't joking? Fired. Straight to jail? Oh, this is so sick. Cool. Love practical merch, says the guy with 2 skateboards with no trucks. I'll have you know, I got the Sora board set up. This is now a real skateboard. It has the grip tape on it now, so like the look changed a little bit, but it still looks sick. I do not want to put the grip tape on the Roxas skateboard because that white will get so ruined. Do a kickflip? I'll do some tricks when I do my video showing it outside or whatever. Hello, gardeners. Hello, hello. Skateboards are so practical. Someone at day 3 would reconnect at 3:39 p.m. is going to say, Folsey, how'd you get that much energy when we all on fumes? True, real. Does chat have to be PG too? I think the way you guys normally behave is probably fine. I don't think anyone ever outdoes me, so don't worry about it. It's sick, is it? It's so cool, dude. Yeah, nice, thank you. Jealous? I think they're still available for sale. I say I think as I actively have a tab open somewhere. Do I even skate? I used to skate, actually, yes. I wasn't doing like tricks and stuff, but like I do a couple tricks, but well, I'll take that. Thank you. What does truck even mean in the context of skateboards? So the trucks are like the it's the wheel setup, the thing like underneath the board that holds the wheels. Goddamn grippies. Do a barrel roll on the skateboard? Interesting. Skate without the truck. It's just a snowboard. Yeah, there you go. Pretty much. Yo, Pink Blue, welcome in. Will the bros be chill too? I hope so. I'll be joined by one of the bros in about... I'm going to start the show in about 10 minutes, and then he'll join me probably just a few minutes after that. We're at 8, I'll introduce the show, what it's all about, tell you guys, since this is the very first episode ever, I'll give you guys the rundown of what's going on. And then I'll call Jay, we'll get him on here. Talk about why we're starting with Ansem, and then we'll jump into it. Gonna take the chat off the video for when we start the March Caprice project. Yeah, so this isn't what this stream is gonna look like. At first, you'll see me go, and then the screen will change again when Jay gets on. Am I like... I think I'm in focus. I was muted? Uh-oh. Oh, that's huge to know. Thank you for pointing that out. That would have been bad. Oh, I wonder if I'm muted over here too. No, I got it over there. You didn't see that. Most of you have already seen it, so it's fine. Thank you for pointing that out, because I would have been muted the whole time and I would have had no clue. You was a skater, boy. She said, see you later, boy. Angel, thank you for coming in. It's really good to see you. Had some long skateboards, longer than some snowboards you've seen. And that'll fit your Bigfoot feet. For the short king, Brandon, don't spread lies in my chat. I would like a longboard one day. That'd be fun. Tech stuff. I'm so great at tech stuff, as you all know. Watch it 160p. R.I.P. the dream. Means the floor is made of floor. What? The board. Saying who? Think we'll ever friggin' shred our way off of this island, bro? That's actually a Kingdom Hearts 2 challenge I want to do. I want to play the game, but skateboard only. I want to do a skateboard only run. Next time I play Kingdom Hearts 2... Actually, no. The next time I play Kingdom Hearts 2, it's going to be on a guitar. But after that, I want to do the skateboard only run. See if you can even watch in 160. Sheesh. All right, we're getting pretty close here. This Lou, you ready on your end, right? As well? Imagine trying to kill everything with just skateboard tricks. That's the idea. It'll take a long time, but that's the idea. How would it work? Like on like pirates? A lot of patience. Lot of patience. Ready? Okay, cool. Got heard off something more stable that you not want to go either to that or the less stable thing. I'm gonna let you guys know right now too, just real quick, because I'm not gonna say this in my little intro spiel. There's not gonna be any like music or any underlying sounds beneath us talking. One, because I don't. This is the first time I'm doing this, and I don't want to risk ruining the audio. If I don't have like whatever mixed properly. Also, if any of you would like to have some tunes underneath, pull up Spotify. You all have that. Throwing that out there now. Pull up last March Caprice's album from last year. That's a fantastic idea, actually. I love that. That's what I say that sometimes. Like, if you're in a stream and they're just yapping, there's like no like background music or whatever. I'm like, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. If anything, it gives you the freedom to put whatever you want in the background. Opens it up a little bit. So that's the vibe tonight. We're just yapping. If you want a little something extra underneath, a little ambiance, throw something on. Having this IKEA, the stream experience for ourselves, pretty much. It's customizable. All right, you know what? I got 4 minutes. I'm gonna take this opportunity to real quick. I'm running to the bathroom. Cause I'm so nervous that I'm gonna have to get up in the middle of the show, and I don't want to do that. So I'll be back in just a moment, and then maybe when I come back, we kick this up. Dude, this is such a banger. I can't show myself until it ends. Croy cooked with this so hard. Oh, did it loop? Am I just a fool? Comics, what's up, dude? Hi again. But hi for real this time. And welcome to episode 1 of the Character Files. Also, thank you to I don't know if they're here right now or listening, or we'll hear this later perhaps. But thank you to Cheney and everyone else behind March Caprice for making this week happen and letting this show be a part of the festivities for this week. Oh, I'm excited for this, guys. This is a project that I've been wanting to start up for I don't even know how long. I've had this idea in mind for at least the past couple years. It was at Reconnect that I decided that I was going to go all in and commit to it. And granted, I haven't been actively working on it like every single day since Reconnect or anything like that, but there's been a lot of work put in between then and now, and I'm really excited to pick this up. So what the Character Files is, for those of you who don't know, this is going to be a series exploring every character of the series pretty in-depth. The idea was inspired by the Hot Ones, the YouTube series. You've all probably seen it. It's the one where that guy interviews people over hot wings. However, this is not an interview. While I'll be presenting my points of interest in the same style, like I'm going to be asking Jay questions today while you're watching, I'll still be actively involved in the conversations. This is very much a self-indulgent project. I have a lot of things about all these characters that I want to talk about, and I think that this is the perfect format to do that, to bring in a different guest for each character for every episode, and that is the gist of that. The other major similarity to the Hot Ones that I'm going for is in the types of questions that he asks his guests. If you have ever seen it, you've probably caught on to this. There's a lot of deep cuts, a lot of things that you would have never thought of or ever even considered asking. And I'll be blunt here, the Kingdom Hearts community and franchise is no stranger to repeated subjects, repeated topics. It kind of, comes with the territory of a franchise that's been in existence since 2002 and has as many droughts as we've gone through. So part of the goal of this show is to present you guys with new topics and new ideas and new things that hopefully you haven't heard before. Now, obviously, I'm not professing that every single one of these things that I bring up, every single one of you is never going to have thought of or heard anyone talk about. That would be insane. But hopefully, if all of you can walk away with at least one new thing that you hadn't ever heard of before or considered or anything like that, then that's what makes this a success to me. I think for today's show, I think we have a good amount of that. There's definitely a couple things in here that, I've heard other people talk about, but I think we have a good little mix of things, a healthy mix of new and relevant. This is very funny seeing all you guys right now. Here's something thought-provoking and fresh. That's the hope here. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I have to get out there before we get Jay on here? I don't think so. That's the way that you're making me feel tonight. Thank you guys for serenading me in the chat. Real talk, that was a strong open. Thank you. Jay, are you ready? Can I give you a call? I'll get you on here, and then I'll let you introduce yourself. Yee, all right, sweet. We're going to get Jay on here, then I'm going to explain why Ansem, and then we're just going to jump right into it. Whoa, alerts are supposed to be off. That was so crazy. Oh, that was so... Hudson Boots, thank you for the follow. Jay, give me 1 second. Let me figure out why that wasn't muted. That's the loudest thing I've ever heard. Oopsie doopsie. Did I, That's crazy, because I didn't, what you call it? I didn't even put the alerts, like, source into this OBS scene. Eardrums bursted, real. Okay, how about this? Do me a favor, no subs or bits during the show. I disabled follows and turned the volume all the way down. Hopefully that does the trick. Sounds on stream can evade you sometimes. It's not even in my sources. That's crazy. A raid is possible though. Oh, thank you for looking out. That's true. That's huge. We'll turn off raids too, or the sound, not raids themselves. This show's gonna go on YouTube. This entire bit's just gonna get cut completely out. No one's ever gonna see this. Sweet. Disenable. All right, let's get Jay in here. That was crazy. Hey, man.
Yo, hello?
Yo.
Is this thing on?
Hell yeah, brother.
What's poppin'?
Oh, we both had interesting days. Let's see here.
Yeah. It's been a day.
Sure has. Let me see, do I got you on here?
Ooh. Yo.
Ooh, we might have to redo your camera real quick.
Oh yeah.
It didn't seem to take from
Weird.
what last night. Yeah.
Honestly, did your Discord update?
It sure did. You're so right. Okay, cool. So, Ansem crashed the stream. Yeah. In true fashion. Thank you, Sydney. No lore for us. Let's do. Chat, I'm going to put you guys to a BRB real quick while I fix this with Jay. Oh, I can't even do a BRB, huh? Because we need it on the screen.
Oh, yeah, I forget.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this is the first part. It's the technical setup.
Yeah, I would just like right click it and like reset its transform. Okay, there we go.
Whoop, we're getting them, guys. Don't worry.
Why am I so small? I'm like Ventus, bro. How did I get so small?
It looks like the chroma key might have kept.
Yeah, the filter should be good.
Guys, I found him.
I'm here, but I'm schmoll.
Oh, it's like mostly good. We're a little ghostly.
Yeah. What's poppin'?
Let's bring you down here. Okay, cool.
This is literally what my life is like, trying to make Jason not small. Mike's breaking our immersion, dude.
Yo, Mike, what's good?
Just to get it out of the way, the reason I'm holding this is like literally 30 minutes ago, my fucking mic arm broke. So I have like a little bit of like crash out energy. It's just been a terrible day. I'm like, if Brandon's like, he has his tire pop and he's like, today's a good day, I'm the opposite side of that coin today. I'm like, fuck today, fuck everything, like, but I'm gonna PR in the gym after this for sure. So like, there is that silver lining, you know? Living rant free today, dude.
That's what's up.
It's just been a day. But we're here for March Caprice, so we're chilling.
All right, I think this might be as good as we're gonna get it.
March Kashish.
March Kashish.
Yeah, it's a double scoop kind of day.
Double scoop. I love that. All right, cool. And I have a little foresight now. Last time you were able to break your boundaries a little bit. Now you can only do that on one of 4 sites. All right. Chat, I'm going to be so real with you guys. I don't know how much I'm going to be looking down. We'll see. All right, anyway.
That's kind of how these things go, you know?
Yeah. This is...
Maybe towards that... Oh, no!
Oh, shit.
my fuck hairline, guys. Don't look. Don't look. Guys, you didn't see, right?
I'm
you guys
having
didn't see it?
a lot of fun.
Okay, I think they didn't see it.
I don't think so either. All right, cool.
We're safe.
We're safe. All right. I guess I'll actually start now. All right, guys.
Hi.
Hey. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell chat who you are.
So my name is Jason or Jay. And I'm from the Super Spaghetti Bros. And might know me from the Ansem Report podcast, the longest running MDA award winning Kingdom Hearts podcast. And I'm just here to do my thing and hang out with the boy for March Caprice, talking about Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, the GOAT.
Yeah.
The timing of the on that bit was crazy.
Oh, yeah. One of the architects of just randomly saying, at Reconnect as well.
Yeah, yes in the chat.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, that was impeccable. Thank you.
Or JJ Cute Buns.
JJ Cute Buns, there.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's what they call me. Why?
That's what I'm gonna be
maybe
calling
we'll
you from
find
now on.
out this
Maybe.
episode. Who knows?
I did think. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, guys. So starting off the series, picking Ansem was a very intentional choice. He's a character who's been there from frame 1. Very beginning. As soon as you start Kingdom Hearts 1, he's on the islands with you. He holds extreme importance to a lot of the story. He's got a lot of impact on a lot of the major casts. And he's also one of the only characters who you could argue their story is completely told, presumably. Should never assume with anyone in this series. But this episode is a little unique in the sense that most of what we're going to be talking about is retrospective. You can consider the same thing I just said. His story is most likely finished. Like Jay said, I feel a little. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel pretty lucky to have you on here as my first guest. For something feels a little poetic about having the longest running podcast host on here with the.
Well, I'm honored you asked me for episode 1.
Hell yeah, man. I knew like immediately, like pretty soon after Reconnect, when I decided I was starting that this was the plan I wanted to roll with. So I appreciate that.
Bro's been cooking. He's been scheming since Reconnect.
For real, Xehanort style. So I have I think I got about 8 main points of interest here that I'm gonna bring up to you. Afterwards, I'll give you the floor, see if you have anything that you'd like to bring up that maybe I missed. And then chat after me and Jay finish going through everything on our minds. I'll ask you guys if we missed anything, if you guys want to bring anything up, if you want to play off anything that we talk about. That'll be the end of the stream. And that'll be pretty much the show. Jay has not heard any of the questions that I'm going to be bringing up. This is all off the cuff. So on that note, if there's anything that I say, hell yeah. On that note, if I bring up anything that's like, what the fuck, you can feel free to tell me to go first. Um, and then for you guys in the chat as well, my mod Lou will be posting polls through each of these questions so that we can get a sense of where your heads are at with everything that we talk about as well, so that you guys can stay involved. We can all kind of be a part of the conversation.
Word.
All right, man.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. So, I know I literally said like 10 minutes ago that this isn't an interview, but I realized about an hour before this started, a great place to start would be why the Anthems report. What was the motivation for that with the ARP?
Okay, so we were driving home from work, and it was me and Mike, the other co-host of the Ansem Report, and we were wanting to do a podcast about Kingdom Hearts because he was able to go and play Kingdom Hearts 3 early when they had that demo where it was just like Toy Story for like a little segment, and then I can't remember what the other part of it was. But anyway, we had talked with one of our other friends, Addison, and he was like, you know what, we should like really we have this angle where we can, you know, talk about it in a unique way, and we just would talk about it a ton anyways, just as like huge nerds of Kingdom Hearts, and so we were just driving home, and
as we all do.
Well, if we're gonna do a podcast, what are we gonna name it? And I was just I was like, sat there for a second. I was like, what about the Ansem Report? Just because I had been playing the games, and you know, you get the reports and stuff, and they're always so cool to me and so mysterious. And then we just, boom, just from there, just off the dome. It's one of my, like, hidden skills, like, coming up with names for stuff. I just sometimes just,
okay, bet.
Boom,
nice.
Like, first try it.
Yeah, I should have came to you when I was trying to come up with the name for the Reconnect band. That was such a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's sick, though. It occurred to me earlier today, I'm like, man, I got this guy, I got Jay on for a reason, for Ansem, and I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, he has that aura, and there's that, like, having even just a fraction of the, like, mystery and just the cool factor of the Ansem Report. Like, it has, like, weight to it in the name. So it just made sense, and he's just so cool. So like having him as a mascot just made a lot of sense. Yeah, it just made sense. You know, sometimes you don't got to think too hard. You know.
Yeah, that's for sure, for sure. That's actually a great segue into the first thing I actually wanted to talk about. I thought, yeah. I figure most of the conversation here is going to be kid has potential to get pretty deep pretty quickly. So I thought we'd start a little on the light and goofy side, break the ice gently for everyone listening. One thing that I want to make a trend of in all of these episodes starting now is I got a little motivation or inspiration, I guess I should say, from the Gummy phone. Now that they have smartphones in Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, damn, how are these characters spending their time? And then after looking at the Ansem's Report podcast logo, for those of you in the chat, check out my look.
Oh shoot!
So like
he got that thing on.
Yeah. Come prepared. He's got these huge headphones on. Like he's jamming. Like it got me thinking. I'm like, when he's lurking for hours and hours in the shadows, just doing nothing but existing. What's he listening to?
He can just be chilling there.
Yeah.
I feel like he likes some like real heavy stuff. Like that just makes sense to me, right? Like, but like old stuff, because like Ansem's kind of old.
Oh, okay.
And some people are gonna be like, "Wait a second, Jay, this isn't old." But guys, we're cooked, all right? He's listening to some like Kill Switch Engage, okay? Like, that's old, okay? Like he's listening to some heavy, just bangers, you know. I feel like he really likes the like double kick kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Just some head banging shit, but like that he can just kind of stand there, and when he like looks around and he hears it, he's just aura farming, you know. So
yeah. Hell yeah.
That's my
um,
headcanon.
no, I love that. I think with the like genre, I mean, I keep looking back and forth because I have you on Discord and then I have you on OBS. I'm like, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I agree with both of you. Um, I think in terms of genre, I definitely agree. He's definitely a Hot Topic kid, so he's listening to a lot of hard rock, metal, alternative kind of stuff. I think all of
oh
the
yeah.
iterations of Xehanort coming from being scientists, I think they all are the kind of person to reflect their music with what they're thinking. And
Mm.
out of all the Xehanorts, I feel like Ansem's been the most steadfast in his goals. Specifically, Kingdom Hearts 1, engulfing everything in darkness, whatever. So I think he's probably listened to bands that reflect his challenging the status quo kind of thing. I think he's definitely like
Right.
Rage Against the Machine.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
And I've
Yeah, some
definitely,
Rage, I think really would hit.
yeah,
Like
for sure. That was the first
some
thing I thought of.
AMV, I can see it,
Uh huh. Yo, he's a Coheed fan. Wildcat. I think you might be onto something there.
Oh yeah, some like prog, like yeah.
Yeah. I had written down
The
System of a Down,
nerdiness side.
Slipknot. Yeah.
Yeah, the nerdiness side you were saying that would make a lot of sense. He's like he really likes Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah, they came to mind too. Yeah, you already said Killswitch, right? That was.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just makes sense, dude.
It does. Cool. All right.
I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah. Oh, I totally didn't forget to put the question on the screen. There you go. I'm too into this. There we go. All right. So jumping
Chat
off.
says rock. Okay. We're all in agreement.
Yeah. Sweet 64% on rock. Hell yeah. All right.
Wait, who the hell said he doesn't? You're wrong. You're the only one. Everyone else, you know what? Maybe they have a case. Whoever said no, he doesn't. You're wrong. You're the only person in the chat who's wrong.
That person went for he doesn't before rap. I feel like that holds something. Good call on that, at least. Not a single person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right. All right. Jumping off the deep end, then. So Ansem's the driving force of Kingdom Hearts 1, right? I'm hard pivoting here from silly, goofy music time to let's start talking lore here.
We're already in the deep dive, guys. Lock in.
Yeah. While we don't really get a lot of screen time with him, all things considered, with that, they don't overly explain, what he's up to at any given point. We really just get to see, like, his most pivotal moments, like actions even, like what he's actually doing at the end. From the very first time we see him, right, on Destiny Islands, do you think from the get-go that he was planning on possessing Riku, that he was like pulling the strings, manipulated his entire ride?
I guess like that's one of those things. Whenever I theorize about Kingdom Hearts lore, specifically Kingdom Hearts 1 lore,
yeah,
it makes me, because there's like that little bit of not retconning, but like
sure.
there's just way more to it right now, right?
Yeah, I think Nomura is really good with writing things in such a way that he knows when he's going to use something later, even though he might not know specifically what it's going to be, just loose enough that he can expand on it.
Well, I think it's a skill, as like anyone who's like created anything would know, being comfortable with leaving something kind of open-ended and letting it kind of just believing that it's good enough that when somebody interacts with it, that their imagination will carry it. That this is, I'm leading them to a certain point with certain things, and then I'm just kind of letting it be and letting it breathe and letting people fill in the blank themselves. And having the confidence to do that, I think, is a huge skill. And so, and you just have to have so much confidence with it, right? But I mean, as far as like the question, is he like responsible for everything? I would argue that like Kingdom Hearts, especially the storytelling, feels like very like cyclical, right? Like there's always like
Yeah.
that one homie in the crew that has darkness or whatever. Like whether it's like Terra, like Terra is like the number one like mirror for him,
Yeah.
right?
It's kind of like Star Wars in that it
Um,
echoes.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so I think especially when it comes to like somebody who like has so much knowledge because they've like lived so long, um, that they'd be able to pick up on something like that, right?
Right.
And see that like, okay, there's always somebody that has this kind of dark glint to them. And the
Yeah.
idea that that's a skill that they could learn just makes like a lot of sense to me, right?
Right.
So as far as like responsible for everything, I would say he's like a very big catalyst.
Yeah.
But once I would say like up to like 358, like once Riku kind of goes like, all right, I gotta go full darkness, full mask off to beat Roxas.
Yeah.
But there's like a really cold line that Richard Epcard delivers where he's like, I've accepted it. I was like, oh my god.
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
yeah. I know
fire
exactly
line,
what
right?
you're talking about. Yeah.
And I think up to that point, a lot of it is Ansem's fault, and then from there, it's like Riku. He's like,
Sure.
it's his own destiny, right?
Okay.
Which is really funny. I'm listening to Riku's theme right now. We're talking about it. It makes a lot of sense right now. So.
I'm with
Yeah.
you on there's so many things just happened. What was the last
I'd
I
say
had
like
something. It's just I get too excited.
right. No, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like I would say like up to 358. A lot of the stuff is
Okay,
and
right, with Riku,
it's like
yeah.
echoed throughout like Chain and stuff, where like he's just being haunted by Ansem the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And I would argue that even up to that point, he probably is very much wrestling with that inner darkness that he also just attributes to his like number one abuser, basically, right? Like, and so
You're stepping
it's
on
like-
a lot of good things for this. So that's gonna be relevant later.
yeah, it's like
Spoilers.
it's his number one abuser, and he is taking the form of that person.
Mm-hmm.
So like that would take a lot of guts to be like, I'm gonna do this for my friend, and I'm gonna become the number one thing I hate, basically, right? In
Mhm.
order to save my friend. So
Cool.
yeah, I'd say very, very huge pivotal role in Riku's story up to that point. And then
Yeah.
once he comes out of being Ansem-ified, I would say Riku's definitely got the steering wheel, so to say.
I'm 100% with you on the Riku aspects of this, where at that point how he just takes over. No notes, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, this is really fun. Everyone who voted said no towards this. This is the fun part for me because now I get to see if I can change your mind and their minds. I fall on a different side of this. Being the only one makes it even more fun. It's dude, I shit you not, in preparation for this, I rewatched every cutscene from every game. I read the manga, I read the character files, the Ultimania,
Yo, the manga.
went into some interviews. Yeah. Yeah, I read the manga. That I'm gonna bring that up again later, but not in like a huge way or anything. So it's
Mike's
it's-
spilling my lore, bro. Sorry.
No, I think I agree with pretty much nearly everything you said. I think in terms of just Kingdom Hearts 1, like strictly looking at that game before anything else, I'm completely on the same page with you. It becomes the like the not the retconning, like the building upon the story, the details added later.
Right.
Because it's fun to talk about because while it's not like explicitly stated, there is a lot about the scenario that we know from quick passing moments in cutscenes in other games that you wouldn't at first think to associate to this question.
Right.
Because like I'd start with like the Keyblade of Heart, right? That he needs from the Seven Princesses to get to Kingdom Hearts.
The fire poker.
The fire poker, yeah. So Ansem himself we know can't wield a Keyblade, being a Heartless, and Riku in Dream Drop confirms this for us, that he needs to possess someone for his plan to work. There was a cutscene where he goes into that verbatim, which would also explain why he approaches Sora in the cave, because he didn't need to expose himself, that early. I think he was trying to feel out between Sora and Riku, which would better serve his purposes, which does get referenced again in Chain of Memories when he's confronting Riku for the first time. One of the first things he says is, "I knew you would be the one to most appropriately serve me." Like pretty sure those are close to his exact words. And then him saying to Riku the first time that they ever speak in Hollow Bastion, "You showed no fear in stepping through the door to darkness. It held no terror for you." To me, that's confirming that he was still there witnessing it, right? He knew that he went through that door, and him referring to it as a door, to me, gives the implication that it was a corridor of darkness, the same way that all the organization members travel between the worlds and all that.
Right.
For that to be the case, I figure he has to have been the one to open it, which in turn, I think, would be the reason that he actually ends up in Hollow Bastion. Being that
I think where it's like really
yeah, I'm going somewhere with that too, but go ahead.
The main question is like, how much does Ansem remember of like the Xehanort stuff? Because like Xehanort and Riku are like super alike when you have like the Dark Road cutscenes and stuff into effect, where he wants to go to other worlds. He even has silver hair, and they got darkness in him, right? And so it's like, how much does Xehanort know? Like, okay, this guy, he's just like me. Like, boom, easy.
True. It could have been even easier, like just like that. With to that end of things that Ansem knows, where I was going to take that next is he knows that Maleficent is seeking the princesses, right? Because that's what Master Xehanort had set up for their plan during Birth by Sleep. Presumably, he wouldn't have told her about the Keyblade of Heart, because why would he? She can't use one. She's just a pawn. But if that were what I was just talking about, if you were the one that opened, right, that corridor of darkness for Riku and sent him there, knowing that Maleficent sent him essentially to the world that Maleficent was at. It wasn't specifically about it being Hollow Bastion. It was more about sending him to her so that she would, he knows Maleficent. He knows how that story would unfold. He'd end up getting used by her, his darkness in him, essentially getting prepped for Ansem to take possession of him.
Right. That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I could keep going with this, but where are you at? What are you thinking so far? Have I swayed you at all?
I mean, no, well,
this wasn't my intention.
Up to what you've said is like what I agree, right?
Yeah.
I would say what I immediately thought of as well is like, if there was more like cutscenes between Ansem when he comes back in 3 and Riku,
right?
Then I would be more prone to believe, like even after he's thwarted in KH1, Xehanort has like plans for Riku again. But like, at that point, he doesn't really like mess with Riku too much, right? Like I feel like he kind of like it, both Xehanort and Ansem, right? It's like I feel like they both are like, he's at the point where like we can't really mess with him directly. Like, they're kind of just still like Aqua's in darkness at that point, and then they're still just like really trying to get to Sora.
I might have
DDD.
I might have came off the wrong way here when I'm implying that Ansem like set up Riku's whole story. I'm talking strictly KH1, start to finish.
Oh, strictly KH1. Okay, then I would agree. Then I would agree. Like,
I just realized with where you're going with that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I was like, so the up to like when Riku is like, yo, okay, I'll be Ansem. I agree that like basically it's completely Ansem's fault.
Yeah.
like pretty much everything Riku goes through up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's cool too, because Ansem even like from the Ansem's reports in Kingdom Hearts 1, it was reports 10 and 11 talk about how he was going to seek out the Keyblade wielder, and that's why he sent Kairi out during when she was a child, so that she would lead him
Right.
to find the Keyblade. Just furthers the idea in my head, like if he knew that he was going to need a Keyblade wielder, like he had the perfect way to find them. He's just been stewing on it. He's like, I can't use these kids yet.
Yeah, no, I agree with you then. Like, I
Yeah.
guess like it with the premise is where like we both like we got our wires crossed. We were on the same page, right? Like no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think it's like pretty obvious that like he sees that there's darkness in him, and like Sack Ansem could easily have just like seen from like Riku just standing out at the shore, just like looking and longing, and like
Yeah.
oh, there's other worlds, and then like
Right.
they're like preparing this raft to go, and that it's
You know,
like the
my homies
perfect
love
time
Sack
to
Ansem.
strike, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Potato Sack Ansem, and no, yeah, I agree. It's like that part where Riku's got his hand out, and then he's
Yeah.
sinking into the darkness or whatever. That being like a portal, that would make sense, like a typical one. That like they like walk through
Right.
in the later games. That would make sense, in that it's like, oh yeah, I'll just send him to Maleficent, and then she can like babysit him and like I want to say like groom that. That felt like kind of like there's like a weird.
It feels gross to say, but like you're kind of right.
In the original way that word is used, like
yeah,
to grooming to be the heir, in
Right.
the in the non-21st century way, right? So so yeah, that would make a lot of sense, that she's basically just setting him up to be the vessel, right?
Yeah.
And even with the argument that like Riku was originally supposed to be the Keyblade wielder, and that like Kairi had done the thing that she was supposed to do, and so he knew he did need to, but just had miscalculated that in how much Riku would just like dive into the darkness would basically make it so that the Keyblade goes to Sora instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Mike, I see your question there. That we're gonna get there. That we were sharing the brain cell on that one. We'll spoilers. Yeah, this is all gonna culminate to something. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So moving right along, then, something that again you had mentioned was the the cool tone of that Ansem has going on for himself. I think a lot of that comes from his voice performances, and he's unique in that he's one of the only characters that we've had two different takes from. I think both Billy Zane and Richard Epcar, they've given fantastic performances as Ansem.
For sure.
Very different flavors, I think. How different do you think Ansem would feel as a character if it had remained Billy Zane the entire franchise? Not like who you perform more. It's like, I think they're both great, but how would we interpret him? Or would it not change?
I think the really low register of Richard Epcar?
Yeah.
Of Richard Epcar's voice, I think really just added to the mystery of him.
Oh, okay.
And I think Billy Zane definitely still had the like really low voice that he would do,
Yeah.
Like he still had that, but yeah, maybe Eric is Richard Epcar's middle name, I just knew
yeah.
We're just cool like that, guys.
They're pretty tight.
And I think there's definitely a lot more like rage in the Billy Zane Ansem, which I think is cool. Um, but I think as far as like, because post KH1, it's Richard Epcar, and so having the Richard Epcar version in uh Chain of Memories, I think works really well when he's like he's in like the org cloak and stuff and is like
Yeah.
messing with them, and then he reveals himself and all that. Um but also like in kind of a meta way, like that's like the Ansem in his heart, like that's like
Yeah.
the darkness shadow that's following Riku. And so I think it kind of like poetically matches that it's like Ansem's kind of taken on another form. Like he isn't just
Oh.
the like heartless of Xehanort at that point, right? And so I think it like really
Yeah.
easily just kind of transitioned at that point. Um, if
That's a
if I had to
really good way to put that.
theorize, if I had to theorize, like if it was like still Billy Zane, I think he would come off a lot more like snarky and mad a lot more. Because that's just how I
Okay.
remember Billy Zane's Ansem.
Mhm.
Not snarky in like, oh, like full on like Zigbar level or something, but just more so than Richard Epcar's Ansem. Whereas Richard Epcar's Ansem feels a lot more like subdued and like like scheming, but in a way where it's like an arrogant scheming at that point, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm pointing at your exact flaw because I can see right through you, kind of way,
Mhm.
right? And so with Billy Zane's, uh, I can't think of the right word. Like, I think how he would have done it would have came off way more like spite filled. I guess I should say.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I would say Richard Epcar's Ansem is more stoic for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I think I agree with a good chunk of that. I'm gonna do my best here not to repeat all too much on the Richard Epcar part in particular. Um, I the one thing I will double down on is the mystery element in Chain of Memories. I hit the nail on the head with that one. Um, but I think he's very much an anime voice actor. It's like it's his bread and butter.
Oh
And
yeah,
we see
he's one of my favorites.
yeah, he's crazy. He's so good. And we see that come out a lot, I think, with how over the top he gets. A lot of it when he gets hot and bothered, we hear like the anime tone come out. I think that works really well, especially for like the fights. He
Hmm.
gets this really articulate way of shouting that doesn't exactly sound like, but has like the feeling of a growl sometimes. If I'm explaining that
Yeah,
well enough,
he's
yeah,
got
yeah,
gravel in his vocal
yeah,
cords, dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
just
yeah.
gargling gravel before
Yeah, yeah,
recording.
yeah. Yeah, back to the music topic. He'd be a sick vocalist for a hardcore band. Like he'd have the
True, true.
he'd have that tone down. It's kind of like an undertone. It's very suiting to one of the main villains. Whereas I think with Billy Zane, he's got that cool guy approach. He's got that stoic tone that you were talking about. He's pretty calm, but with like this extreme confidence. Like listening to him, that he like always knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
That like he knows he's in control, and I think it's a much more evil kind of voice. I think the scene
yeah.
that ooh, I think the way that I would describe his voice visually is like Michael Myers. Like he's going slow, but he knows he's gonna get the job done.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the scene that illustrates the way I feel about him is in Kingdom Hearts 1 and obviously Kingdom Hearts 1 and Hollow Bastion after Sora releases Kyrie's heart. Um, his first words out are, "So you've awakened the last princess. You've served your purpose, but now it's over." And like with that, he only gets to take a couple steps towards her before Riku stops him. But like in that
Hmm.
moment, this is this is the visual of a fully grown man who's about to off this kid just because she's done with his
Yeah.
like the job in his mind. Like this is someone that you listen to that in that scene and you're listening to someone that doesn't care about you. Like he is in it for his purposes. I feel like he had a much more villainous approach to the way that he delivered Ansem's dialogue.
Mm,
Doesn't make one or the other, better or worse. I just think it's an interesting comparison.
for sure.
Yeah. Which I think also the Billy Zane approach with how I was just explaining that I hear it, I think it serves the purposes of Kingdom Hearts 1 as like the first game is a great standalone entry, before the rest
Yeah.
of the franchise comes in. It's not cluttered with lore. It's a very straightforward story from start to finish. I think that fits the vibe very well. I think it's interesting too with to bring the manga back up. It's like reading it. I didn't necessarily hear one or the other's voice in my head, but just looking at the
Mm,
illustrations, I'm like, this is a third unique take on Ansem. This isn't either the voices. This is like, it was a very he had like the confidence of Billy Zane, but like the anime flamboyance that you would get from like Richard Epcar. I'm like, this is a culmination, and I don't know. It was really cool, which got me thinking. There's been rumors for years at this point of like a Kingdom Hearts show.
mm.
For the sake of this, let's say it's an anime, right?
Right. I mean, that would make sense. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Would you? Yeah, off the coattails of what I just said, like with the manga feeling like a third interpretation, if they were to
Mm,
ever do an anime, would you want Richard Epcar to come back? Or would you want, pretending also for the sake of this question, that no real world politics matter, right? No contracts, no worrying about disrespecting current
right.
cast, just for the sake of the art. Would you want to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
a new voice for a new take on him, or would you want Richard back?
I think like hmm, with Kingdom Hearts as like a video game where everybody is just voice acting being put into a show that would also be animated, it like kind of for me begs the question like why like if it ain't
Why
broke,
do it in the
don't
first
fix
place?
it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
no, like just like
Okay.
the
Misunderstood the
the
direction there.
right, like the same skills that you would need in order to do a show are the same skills that you would need to do a video game, right?
Yeah,
And so for me, like what I would want is just everybody returning, right? But
yeah,
in the case where it wasn't, if Richard Epcar wanted to do it and like everything worked out, him being like one of the only returning, I think would help like ground it and
ooh,
make it feel very nostalgic still, right? Because like for example, like when you take a video game and then turn it into live action, like whether it's like The Last of Us or Fallout or something,
yeah,
the a lot most times like the people who do the voice acting don't look anything like the character, right? Like it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
yeah,
Um, so you don't have that issue, and so the recasting just immediately makes sense. But for animation, I think a lot of people would want to push for it to be the same people, right? Uh,
sure,
and they're all talented voice actors and just have gotten better over time, right?
yeah,
Um, non remind era, because like that was just kind of some working from home fiascos or something. I don't know, like
yeah,
like Riku phones it in remind. Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to like unless I thought the new take of what whoever does it, if I thought it was like bad casting or like that they had done a bad job or something,
yeah,
then maybe I'd be like, they should have just kept it as Richard Epcar. I I wouldn't be super opposed to it. whenever I like, if I were to read the manga, which I haven't, I've seen like random parts of it.
Yeah.
But I would definitely hear Richard Epcar's voice in my head.
Mhm.
But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Would you want a third take or?
Uh, you know what? I think I would after having done all this work for this moment right now, to having this conversation with you. I think I've built myself up to the point where I'm like, I think new interpretations of just everyone would be cool. I think it would come down to, animated versus anime, like what kind of show there was. If it was like a proper animated, like CG, like a regular show, I think I just want the regular cast back. If it was
Right.
an anime, like a completely new take on the story altogether, new look, new everything, I think that would be a fitting moment to have new voices come in to kind of see what everyone would be like through someone else's eyes. I think that's fun. I think I resonate with something you said earlier with having key characters maybe say the same. Prior to hearing you say that about Ansem, my mind went to Sora, Riku, Kairi. I'm like, maybe keep those three, and you can do whatever for everyone else. Ansem would be interesting if he was like the sole one to stay, for the same reason that you said, that nostalgia would drive it, and then it would kind of, I feel like, drive that sense of, oh shit, the bad guy's here. I know who this is. Like, you hear his voice for the first time. Like, I think you'd get chills in that moment.
Right.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah, no, I think that would help ground it. I think my only, like, the only thing I'd be kind of worried about is whenever you have somebody who is like, is that character. Like, for example, like Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman for so long, and he really cared about that character. And so in instances where there was certain writing, like, he would have input where he'd say, I think Batman would say it like this, or no, he wouldn't say that, or something like that, right? Like, there's been interviews where he said he'd had input like that, right?
Sure.
And so the only thing I would be slightly worried about, and I don't know, it's like a, but maybe it's good kind of thing, is that maybe in having these characters play, or having these voice actors play these characters they've already played, they already have certain things where they might have moments like that where they're like, I think they would say it like this or something like that. And in having been that character before, depending on how like strict or how passionate the show makers are about their script or how they want, what their vision for the show would be, maybe it would change it, right? And it's like, when you've been a character for so many years or done so many voice lines, I think it's like easy to fall into like certain like rhythms for it, right?
Sure.
And so when you have like some of it feeling kind of like samey because of that, and then other parts not, I could definitely see where that would, it could cause like a juxtaposition of ideas where like part of it is like really what the show writers wanted, and then part of it is like the old voice actors kind of like making decisions for the character, I guess, in a way, right? And it just really depends on how much influence the show writers have on like what is said and what is done. Like, how much would like Nomura be like helicoptering it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is really interesting to think about, though, for sure.
I think for something like this, for like where my head was at with this question as a whole, what for the Nomura aspect, I think in a perfect world he'd just be making sure that like the lore is on point, and besides that, letting people do their thing. My whole vision with this is like the creative freedom, right? To take it in a new, not a different direction in terms of like story or anything crazy like that, but just like, I don't know, the feeling of everything. How I wonder how different people would see these characters. So like where Ansem's concerned, my mind goes to a specific VA that I think would be pretty interesting to hear how they'd interpret it. It's Vic what's his name? Vic Mignogna, I think. Most people know him as Edward Elric, but he also voices Pain in Naruto, if anyone in chat knows
okay,
Naruto.
yeah.
Dude has incredible range, and specifically for like looking at the Pain character, and with his multiple voices of Pain too, like he has a range of.
He's got the anime chops for it.
I'd be curious to see where that would go. I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot.
Jip stole who I was thinking of immediately, right? Like for me, and I was gonna ask you like who you would want. To do it if you had, right? But for me, immediately it's like Christopher Judge, because he's the voice actor for Kratos in the new God of War games.
Okay, that's good.
And so he has that deep, gravelly voice on lock, and the yelling, and but like still like being able to get that emotion through. I'd be curious to see his like mysterious take on Ansem, or like how much is he like rageful. And I think in Richard Epcar's hands, I would feel very safe still, even him like redoing Billy Zane lines basically, because like you already see when he's like full rage mode with Terranort, right? Like he's basically doing the same voice, but it's so much more like sinister, right? Like he just knows he's gonna win. Right? Like
I think
like
that's
one of my favorite
voice
lines he does in the like battle quotes is when he's like, "You've lost," and it's just like so good. It's so rage filled, and when he just like kills everybody in Cage 3 too, you're like, this dude is just like the Grim Reaper. So I think if he were to like if SOD is way over here, and like current SOD, and then like Terranort's way over here, I feel like KH1 would kind of be more in the middle, where it's like he definitely feels more like angry and vengeful, and like I'm about to kill a little kid, you know. So
as one does.
I think if he channeled that, it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That was fun. I liked that. There was one thing that you with Christopher Judge. Do you think he'd work for Xemnas? That was my first thought when you were when you said he was Kratos. I'm like, oh, does that work both ways for either one?
For Xemnas, I don't. That one's harder for me to imagine because there's so much like grandioseness to
imagining
Xemnas.
Anyone else is
so like
hard off the bat.
Right. Well, and specifically imagining Christopher Judge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he would have the skill to do it. It's like really hard for me to imagine him doing kind of a like he does this like greater than thou kind of voice for Xemnas, right? And so I don't know how not Richard Epcar. I don't know how Christopher Judge would sound doing that, you know? Like that's interesting. I'd kind of want to hear it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would love to be the fly on the wall where it's like you're hearing everybody's like A/B tests and stuff, like auditioning for the part. That would be really cool.
Cool. Sweet. I feel like we're pretty tight on all that. So chat, after all that out of the way, Chris Pratt, right? I have one more surprise guest here for you guys before we move on to the next question. I'll let you guys see for yourself. Ansem's got some words for you.
Hello to the Kingdom Hearts community. It's your old pal Ansem, a.k.a. Richard Epcar. I just wanted to say hi, and I understand that this week is the 5th annual March Caprice, so I wanted to wish you all a happy March Caprice. That's exciting. I'm very happy for you guys. I also understand that you're going to be starting a new talk show called The Character Files, and you're going to be discussing all of the characters in Kingdom Hearts. So that's pretty cool, starting with yours truly, Ansem. So I just wanted to let you know that if you have any questions for me or Ansem, then I'd be happy to answer them for you for your talk show. So, happy March Caprice, and I wanted to leave you with this little note here. What a journey you and I have had. Your strength is vaster than darkness. I knew I never stood a chance. Part of me wanted to defy my fate, but when others betrayed us, I found I did not care. And then nothing else seemed to matter anymore. What? It is time to move on, boy. There is more to seek, so go forth now and seek it. Wise words from Ansem. All the best. Happy March Caprice. Cheers to the Kingdom Hearts community. All the best from Ansem and Richard Epcar. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. All the best. Cheers.
I hope you guys like that.
Dude, I was just cheesing the whole time, dude. I love that man so much. I have to meet him in my lifetime. Like,
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah, dude, that was I I was such a little kid when I got that video back.
Right.
For context here for everyone, literally all I asked from him was, could you say Happy March Caprice? Could you say I hope you enjoy the show?
Yeah, dude.
And
He's so awesome. He's so awesome. And like we have a clip of him saying like welcome to the Ansem Report podcast, right?
Oh, that's so sick.
And one of our mods, Corinne, she met him at a con, and she just had her phone, and she was like, "Hey, like, could you say like welcome to the Ansem Report podcast, like for my friend's show, right?"
Yeah.
And he had like said the name wrong or something. I don't remember. He had said something not correct, and she was like, would you be able to do it again? Like, this is the name. And he was like, oh yeah. Like, he's just so nice, dude. Like,
Yeah.
he's so awesome. And whenever there's like a cameo, I believe I think it was Iron Aggro had done a cameo.
For the for after Reckoning.
Yeah. For the and he just asked him to say yeah one time.
And he did it for like a
And
minute.
he just went on and on. Like, he just so clearly loves what he does.
Yeah.
And it just irradiates from it, and it just makes you smile. You can't help but like just see the guy and smile. He's like one of the few people where I would like genuinely be like starstruck to see him.
Yeah.
Like he's the
Yeah, I
GOAT.
get that. Yeah, I'm not one for meeting like celebrities or anything like that.
Yeah, me neither.
But I feel like I don't know, there's probably a short list of Kingdom Hearts voice actors that I would probably get in line to talk to. He's one of them.
Right.
Alright.
And it's like I don't really fault the voice actors who like aren't super in love with their character, or like that don't go the extra
Oh,
mile.
for sure,
Like,
yeah.
it's their job, like, and depending on how much, it's like, I don't really know. And like, I could understand like if there's a character that I played years ago and these people like really think of me as that I wouldn't want to kind of like let them down, like,
Right.
and so therefore like wanting to distance yourself and kind of being a bit more cold because of that.
Mhm.
But when you get the ones like him where he just really clearly just loves it, it just is so much better.
Yeah. Cool, man. All right, so moving right along. Also, everyone, by the way, thank you for all these follows that are going off. Obviously, I have alerts off right now, but I see all of you. Thank you. Appreciate it a lot. Happy March Caprice.
Happy March Caprice.
All right, so moving right on. Ansem's the only Heartless in history, right, to retain his sense of self, memories, personality, the whole shebang. Sora did to an extent when he was a Shadow, but I feel like that's a little different. Ansem's unique in this way, right? And I think that puts him in a unique position because we see the nobodies get treated a lot more respectfully than Ansem does as individuals. Like after in Dream Drop learning that they can regrow their own hearts, specifically looking towards like Roxas, Shio, and Xemnas, people treating them as their own persons rather than who they came from. Do you think Ansem deserves that same treatment?
Like as far as like the same respect as like nobodies.
I guess, yeah, as being seen his own man instead of just a spawn of Xehanort, his Heartless.
Right, like a Roxas Shion.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say I feel like Aqua, like Darkwa, is like the same level as him, right? Like she was also like full. Or I guess I don't know. Did she still have her heart at that point? I don't know, because like she wasn't like Norded, but she was like full
Right.
Darkling, right?
Yeah,
And still had her personality and everything.
Yeah, I think
I
that
guess she
one's
still retained her heart.
yeah. She's still Aqua at that point. She's got her heart. She's just corrupted by like the waves of like that dark sea. They snap her out of it afterwards.
Right.
I see where you're coming from though.
Probably also the blast that like she was hit with to go into the water too, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, I would say he deserves more respect being the only one to do that, right? It's just like how much, because like the idea is like depending on the strength of their darkness, that's how much, like, that's how strong of a Heartless you create when you become a Heartless, right?
Exactly.
And so for him to just have so much darkness that like
his own
he's just he's that, but then also he's like the final boss where he's like a giant boat, you know, like that's him too. Like
we're gonna talk about that next.
he's just a bottomless pit of darkness, you know. So
yeah,
I would say he deserves more respect than the nobodies. Whereas the nobodies, it's like, you know, their will, you know.
Yeah. I think the only time that we ever see someone refer to Ansem in this kind of light that he's just himself is, it's really funny. It's Goofy in Kingdom Hearts 3 when they're in Twilight Town at the very beginning. He points out how Xemnas and Ansem are able to coexist present day, and he uses that as as evidence for why Roxas should be able to exist. So in that conversation, he's like implying that he is yeah, for real. Goofy always knows. But yeah, I think the Kingdom Hearts 3 ending kind of I agree with you, by the way. Kind of proves and solidifies that he should be given that same kind of view and respect. Where I'm going to talk about this quote again later, but he talks about how he wanted to defy his fate, how he didn't care when the organization members betrayed them, how nothing else seemed to matter anymore. His heart wasn't in it anymore. He didn't care about Master Xehanort's plan. To me, that illustrates like him separating himself from the rest of the Xehanorts as a whole.
Right. Well, and the fact that he's like, you know, there's more to seek. Like, go out.
Yeah.
You know, he's actually cheering them on, in a way. And it's like you're just so in control of your darkness that like you're supposedly just darkness incarnate at that point, essentially, right? Like not like the darkness that's like a la like Union Cross darkness level, but like I would say like he's probably just below that, right? Like being the only one, and then also having that slight layer of being his own person regardless of these insane circumstances, right?
Right. Lou, thank you for that, because oh my god, I cannot keep up with the question cards. I feel like it was a good idea. I keep forgetting. No, I think we're on the same page there with that. I think we could have nailed that one. I don't see any. Someone said no. Who said no? Tell us why.
Make yourself known before you get banned. Plead your case. Before you get cast into the darkness.
It was a misclick.
It
for
was
sure.
a misclick.
For sure. All right, cool. I knew that one was going to be a little on the short side. Well, I had a feeling at least. That would have been really
Right,
interesting
right.
if you had said no. I'm like, oh.
There's a part of me that's like, and maybe we might get into this, but there's a part of me that really hopes he returns in some way.
We are going to get into this.
Okay.
Yeah. we're about halfway through right now. That was my shortest
Okay.
question. The rest of these I think we'll probably for a little bit more.
Okay.
Miss input you called out. All right, so something you said I'm going to dig into on this question, but actually there one other element of him being seen as his own person. Do you think Tara would ever give him that treatment after, being held captive by the Xehanorts for over a year? Would he care enough to give that much respect to the one that he's been attached to the whole time? I'll be honest, I don't have an answer for this one. The question, I've been sitting on this, thinking about it for probably a few weeks now, and
Well, because it's like,
I don't know.
there's Terranor, but like the apprentice to Ansem the Wise.
Yeah.
And basically being held hostage like that, but then also once he splits, then being the what's it called? He's the big boy behind him. Well, I can't think of what it's called right now. The Guardian. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. The Guardian. And the fact that he was there, I wonder like how much of it is like I would I'd be curious to ask Nomura like what did Tara like fully witness everything, or was it just like once they are like fighting in the Keyblade graveyard against Aqua that he's able to like break the thing, right?
I think that we get an
if he was,
inkling
like,
to that in Dream
if he
Drop.
was fully conscious like the entire time and like saw everything, then yeah, I think it's a missed opportunity at that point that like he didn't have like a moment where he's like, yeah, I've been with you this whole time,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Or maybe
Or
if he
like
came back.
even it'd be really cool that if there was a line where like Ansem is really like confront, because at that point it's Terranor who has the Guardian when Terra like breaks the chains of it, right?
Right.
And so it's a little bit of a missed opportunity for maybe Ansem to know that he was in there that whole time. Like that would have been really cool.
Yeah. I think that we get some insight to that in Dream Drop Distance at the when Riku's fighting Ansem at the end of the game, and they have that little exchange where they're both reaching their arms out and mirroring their moment in Birth by Sleep when they were when he was a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of shows
remember...
us that he does have, sense of awareness.
Right, like there definitely is that sense of awareness, and I remember like that was when everyone was like, "Oh my God, the Guardian is Terra!"
Yeah.
Like back when DDD came out, and I just would want to like I'd be curious to ask him, or like to what level, right? Like, is it just like he comes back when he like sees something kind of familiar, like it like clicks for him, and then there's that little bit, but he doesn't fully know what's going on, or like. Is he like when he's posted up like arms crossed the whole time, like he's just having to witness the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Cool. To follow up on this Terra talk, how deeply do you think Ansem having a Terra as the Guardian affected his powers? How much did he gain from that?
Oh, I mean, I feel like he has to get a buff from that, right? Like,
yeah.
The fact that like it's this like cool shadow, absolutely jacked, like and it does like especially in like the data fights where like it punches the ground and there's this huge spikes of darkness, like, Ansem and or like Terra, depending on who it is, they're just standing there, bro. Like they're not really like it's like Terra's doing the work, bro. So I feel like it's definitely a huge buff for Ansem. But
Right.
I would also argue that like Ansem's got tons of power himself, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think I agree with everything you just said. I would take that to an extreme and run with it. I think the entire world of chaos at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 is only achievable because of Terra. I think
Mm.
I think what's happening when Ansem's going into that like cocoon after the first fight against him, like you get down there, you fight Ansem, and then he kind of retreats, and you have to fight the entire uh whatever spaceship.
Yeah.
I think what he's
The
doing,
boat.
the boat, yeah, is funneling like every ounce of darkness he can and just driving it directly into Terra.
Mm.
I mean, first and foremost, it's still clearly the Guardian. Like the bulk of this thing is just him buffed up.
Right. So like you're saying the boat is Terra, and then Ansem's
Yeah.
just like when he's like connected at the top, he's like just pumping darkness into Terra.
Right, yeah. So like when he retreats, I
That's
don't
a
think he's
cool-
doing
that's a
that
cool
like
theory.
necessarily to heal up, but rather to ensure that he's maintaining Terra in that state. You know, like outside of that fight, there's just the fact that like Potato Sack Ansem for years, and or rather, he was Potato Sack Ansem for like for years until he nabbed Riku. Like Ansem is this very parasitic person, the way that he functions.
Mm.
So like I feel like it makes sense that we would see him treat Terra that way, and like his captive heart, and that he would use him in such a way for combat.
Mm.
And like that's not even touching on how strong Terra himself is. Like Terra, out of all the characters in the
Right.
cast, like I feel like Terra is absolutely the one that would be able to achieve that for Ansem. Like him being able to fight back against like Xehanort while he has his heart taken over from the inside for years, the existence of the lingering will,
Right.
just period is insane. Terra's got a lot of oomph
Bro's
behind
OP.
him. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And then like comparing the Ansem's boat to the other final bosses, like Xemnas' dragon is left a little bit up to interpretation. Every instance I could find of it mentioned in official media just refers to it as Xemnas' dragon form. So I think what's happening there is he's utilizing gummy nobodies and just amplifying them to an extreme to like make this dragon attachment for him. I can back that up a little bit, being that there's bomb bells present during a lot of that fight. The bomb bells are those like a little explosive nobodies that like you whack one time they
Right.
blow
Yeah,
up.
like hit into the engine. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was a lot of that already pre-existent in the fight. And then like you look at Master Xehanort in KH3, he didn't the same thing. He didn't have any kind of like boat or dragon. He was doing world altering things, but neither him nor Xemnas were able to create something in the same way that Ansem did. I think there's a reason for that. I think it's Terra.
Yeah, I like the idea that like it makes it a lot more sinister, like cuz like at the top, like Ansem's in that cocoon in the very final fight, and then once you've like beat up a bunch of the parts of the ship, then he comes out of it and he has these like cords connected to his back that go in.
Yeah.
But then behind is like that there's like that giant like demon behind where like it does that move where it's going to suck all your mana away. Unless you like hit this like ball that's in its mouth. Do you remember that attack?
I'm not sure.
Like you're fighting Ansem, like it's the very very final fight.
Okay.
And like there's like 4 main attacks. There's the ones where he summons the bats. There's
Right.
the laser beams. There's just him like swinging,
Mhm.
and then there's like the big suck attack where you have to like keep running away, and then there's the explosion.
Okay, yeah.
And then the other one is there's like this orb of like energy that like forms in that like demon head's mouth that's like behind Ansem, and you have to like hit it in order to make it so that it doesn't take all of your mana. kind of a la a like Sephiroth, like I take all of your health and mana in one move kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like the idea that like Terra's that like that it is Terra and that Terra's that strong you just suck all your mana out of
Yeah.
it just, like instantly.
I gotta do that fight again. I don't remember losing. Maybe I'm
I
just
just-
healing too much and don't have any.
Or you like what probably happens is you just pop like a mega elixir and you're chilling after, right? It's
I
like,
might not
you're
even
like,
noticed.
oh, I healed that much, like yeah, or just like you get like, hit enough to get like 1 mana and then you're just like using
Yeah.
it right away or something.
Yeah, pretty
right?
much
Like-
every boss ever. I love the magic system in KH1.
I still have a lot of painful memories with that fight, so I'm
Yeah.
scarred. But it's cooler if I think about it that it's Terra.
Yeah. I'm glad you like that. You think he can come back? We can bring that up now. I know you said you want him to,
Ooh.
but is there? I guess rather, is there room for him? Or,
Yeah,
or
like
just even should he? However you want to take it.
I think it really feels like I don't know. This is just like the vibe, right? Because they ended the Seeker of Darkness like entire arc, right? Like
Sure.
the Xehanort arc.
Yeah.
That bringing it back would feel kind of like they're like afraid to move forward kind of thing. And this is like an issue I have with like having played like the Yakuza game like a dragon.
Yeah.
And a large part of what people don't like about the new games is that it feels like they're scared to just make new characters. Like they always are constantly bringing back the old characters, right? And it's like a very anime thing, so it makes sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, here's this person's power up moment, you know? But with the fact that it feels like we're going to be in a completely different place, a completely different era of Kingdom Hearts starting KH4, I think having him have like a cameo or like that like in this other side that Sora and Quadratum or whatever, this other side that Sora's currently stuck on, if Ansem was like a character there but was just like his own person and it's just kind of like an Easter egg, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I was about to say
Like
that
that
harks
he's
back to
not-
like the idea of him being his own self. Like that would be an interesting way to pull that
Right.
off.
And I think it would be cool, and it would make sense from like a character standpoint that like he dies and then like in his like fading away maybe he just feels that like fight or flight and like that anger, and in some type of way he kind of does the same type of thing that Sora does where he's just all
Too stubborn
like,
to fade
at-
away entirely.
at whatever cost, and then the
Yeah.
cost is him going to this other side where
Kind of like
allegedly
how,
there's no light and darkness or
right,
whatever. And then
ki-
if there's no light and darkness, like he would lose a
Yeah.
large part of himself, and then so he just has to find out who he is without darkness, right?
that'd be fun.
But I don't know that I would want him to be like a mainstay character or something.
Yeah.
Like as much as I love the character, and he's so much of what Kingdom Hearts is to me, I just think it would be cool that like he's around somewhere, right? But I can
Yeah.
also understand people are like, no, I want his death to be meaningful. You know, like that's also fair. That's
Yeah,
a fair
yeah,
take
yeah.
as well.
That's
So
oh, I like the idea of seeing him grapple with no darkness, but as a supporting, not a main.
right.
That's really fun. Yeah, I think his ending was beautiful. At out of everyone, potentially one of the only characters who has a like clear finite ending. Like his full story has been told. Before I keep going with that, dude, it's not kind of like what you were saying. Like it almost mirrors the Beast in Kingdom Hearts 1, how he ended up in Hollow Bastion and through sheer force of will, like just too
Right, right.
stubborn to die and not save Belle. Like same thing. If he were just I can't die yet, and that ended up happening.
It's like
That'd be cool.
it's a very like anime thing, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like in Dragon Ball Z, like Goku just like uses the Kaioken to like such an insane degree that like
Yeah.
he's just completely destroying his body in order to like do what
Yeah.
he needs to do, right?
Season 1 Deku just entered the chat.
Right. It's like
Yeah, it's
at
just
whatever
destroying
cost,
himself. Yeah.
right?
Um.
So I could see it,
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
but in like a dark, evil, villainous way, not in like a completely selfish way.
Mhm.
Not in like I have to save Belle or something, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
just in a complete self-preservation, like animal instinct way. I could see him doing something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Similar in nature, not necessarily the same thing.
Right.
I thought he had this like phenomenal outro with
Yeah.
like his whole speech, as meaningful as it was towards like Riku acknowledging his strength and pushing both him and Sora forward. Like his whole monologue was double entendre toward us as the player. Like what a journey you and I
Right.
have had. He's talking about start to finish. What a journey we've had. It's like reflecting
Yeah.
on the
He pretty
franchise.
much
There's
never left.
he didn't. Yeah, and like there's more to
Yeah.
seek, so go forth and seek it. He's like, I look forward to KH4. Like I'll be
Yeah.
here if you ever want to replay, but
Yeah. Yeah.
y'all got more good stuff ahead of you, and don't feel bad that this chapter's ending.
Well, and I would say it definitely like it is it like a triple entendre at that point? I don't know, but like, you know, these games have been coming out for so long that it's like so many people grew up playing the game, and now you're an
True.
adult,
Yeah,
might have like a wife and a kid or a husband and a kid or whatever, like
yeah, it definitely
it-
applies.
so much has changed, yet at that point so much was the same, but then
Mhm.
he's saying, hey, it's been a ride.
Yeah,
You
For
can
sure.
you can go forth and seek, like you can be who you need to be,
yeah.
but like in your real life.
Yeah. I think, well, yeah, I could probably think up a reason why or for how they could bring him back, or rather why they would. To me, it feels unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like we're moving into a new saga, like you said. Like we can focus on the new characters, and we already have a colossal cast to begin with. Trying to figure out how to balance all of them is going to be like an Avengers act. Like how are you going to fit all these
Right.
pieces together? And with how well he went out, honestly, it almost feels like a disservice unless you're doing something kind of like what you suggested. Unless you're doing something completely new, and like if he's grappling with the darkness, to go off of that again. Like if you're not doing something entirely new and unique, you're kind of washing out that whole ending, taking
I
the weight
think-
out of it.
For sure. I wouldn't want him to like randomly be like a good guy or something. Like I don't want like a Vegeta level redemption or something. Also,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cheney DM'd me, and I forgot that I was sharing your.
Oh yeah,
your-
yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Just leak the DMs. That's fine. But no. I definitely wouldn't want him to be like a good guy or something. Like
Oh yeah, no, not that. Not
that
that
would
either.
that would make me actually mad. I would
Oh.
want him to still be a bad guy, but it's like, yeah, I
It'd
don't
be
know,
a
I keep
really
referencing
fine
DBZ
line
a
to
lot.
walk.
But it's like when Vegeta becomes Majin Vegeta because he wants to return back to the way he was, where he was like cold and ruthless and could get things done and all this stuff. If he was having that kind of arc or something, but it's like for his own schemes, his own thing, I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
But like in order to do that justice, you'd have to give him a lot of screen time, which at that point it's like, do you really need to? You couldn't just
Right.
make new characters if you want, right?
Right. Yeah, do
Like
some-
I don't want to hear like Richard Epcar doing his Terranort voice, but like
Yeah.
not evil. Where he's like, but Professor Ansem. Like I don't want to hear that stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm good on that. I need just evil scheming Ansem, if anything,
Yeah. Uh,
Like if he was like basically like a Maleficent-esque character where like he's doing his own
sure.
thing.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe you don't exactly know what he wants, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's just straight power, like just power to have power. I think that could work.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I wouldn't want him to be like the main bad guy because it's like, what are we doing, bro? Like
Yeah.
we finished this arc, like
Have you ever played Final Fantasy 12?
not 12, no.
Not 12. Okay. There's this you got me thinking there's this like series I'd say of side quests through like this completely optional element of the game. It's like this bounty hunting system. And you can't do the entire thing until you've played through most of the game, but it results like the final fight results in this fight with this one like super side like C-list villain, but holds some weight to one of the main characters like emotionally. It'd be kind of interesting, like to what you were saying, like that end with Ansem. That's where my mind went if they did something similar. If it was like something completely optional that you had to play most of the game and do a lot of extra side content to get through first to even potentially unlock that, maybe.
Right.
Like at that point, it's not really it's not forced. It's not heavy-handed.
If it was done in a good way, right? Like I wouldn't want it to just be, well, this is like fan service, so like let's just do it.
Right.
I would want it to be done in a good way, right?
Yeah, I agree. That'd be interesting.
I think Barbosa as a comparison is like pretty good, but Barbosa kind of he's too anti-hero to me as far as like what I would want for Ansem, right? Like I love Barbosa, but like I would definitely want like if he was like a Saruman to like some bigger bad's Sauron for the Lord of the Rings fans, you know, like he's doing his own thing, but maybe it also furthers the goal of somebody else, right? Like that's what I would want if he had to come back.
Cool. Right on, man. I got 2 things left here for you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Sweet. Feeling better than when you came in here at the start with your mic arm?
Oh yeah, I'm like that rage is bottled up right now, and that's gonna be like unleashed at the gym. It's leg day. It's gonna be
word
diabolical leg day.
Okay, cool. Okay, I think we're gonna have some fun here with these last couple. With the Kingdom Hearts 3, he didn't have too much going on, but I'd say his biggest thing was his hunt for the missing girl, which we now know from the secret reports with Subject X. Why do you think he cared so much? I have kind of a crazy thing to go for this.
I guess it's like how much of like Xehanort is like in his soul, I guess. Like he doesn't have a heart, so I guess you'd have like a soul at that point, right?
Oh no, that's interesting actually, because in Kingdom Hearts 3, I guess technically he would have at least a piece of Xehanort's heart in him, although organization members would.
Shoot. Can you say the question again? I like lost my train of thought.
Yeah, like why do you think he was so invested in finding Subject X?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, how much is Xehanort in there? And like specifically, when I'm saying Xehanort, like I'm thinking like young Xehanort, where like
okay, cool.
He would have like seen the events of like Union Cross and stuff like that, and like if it is Scold, right?
This is so on point with word. Yeah.
That's immediately where my brain goes.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if like she's some kind of key for something where it comes to like getting to the other side, right? Because as far as like, not to get like this could get into a huge tangent, but like the overall arcing goal of like the Master of Masters versus Darkness, right? And it's like it very much seems like it's a cycle because it's all been written down in the book. Darkness has literally been like looking over his shoulder, like reading the book type of thing. So
Mhm.
both him and Darkness allegedly like know everything. So therefore it would just be like a cycle, and they're both trying to influence the cycle to go their way or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that like Sora is the first person to get to the other side that might also have a way to get back, because like we see Strelitzia in the KH4 trailer, so she would also be somebody that would have like information on that, at least allegedly.
Yeah.
Maybe she has no memories, maybe Sora
Yeah.
basically has no memories, and therefore Riku is the catalyst, and so Riku's the first person to get over and actually have memories or something.
Yeah.
It just there's so much
If-
that
yeah.
we could go through, so many branching paths. So to me it's like it just
yeah.
depends how much does Subject X matter, because like
Right.
Subject X, to bring it back to where we were at the very beginning of the episode, to me Subject X is that, yo, here's this thing, and I'm comfortable with not having it fully figured out and fleshed out, but I'm fine and confident in that fans' ideas, and that fans can kind of fill in these, like, I'm good enough at storytelling to put this here as like a little breadcrumb, but not necessarily feel like I have to go back to it.
Right.
So I don't know. It just depends on how much you think, whether or not you think Scold is Subject X, and how much like does
Yeah.
it like have like bearing on the rest of the story, right?
Sure. Spoiler alert, I do think Scold is Subject X, so I'm going to get into that.
Yeah. There's not a ton of other options, is there?
Not a ton of other options and not a ton of
least
reasons
that
to
makes sense.
not believe that is the case. If it helps also for your thoughts right now, admittedly there's one snare in the theory that I'm going to pitch to everyone, and that's when Ansem when the two Ansems are in Twilight Town, Seeker of Darkness claims to Ansem the Wise that he's looking for her because of her connection to the clash between the lights and darknesses. However, I think he's withholding, and even if he's not, if that's Skuld for the sake of the conversation, that would still connect her to the original Keyblade War, so it doesn't make any points here moot, but regardless, that's part of it at least.
Well, and like there's different assumptions and stuff that you can make from that, right? It's like, okay, is she conscious, right? She
Mhm.
has a Keyblade, so he's like, oh, that's like a vessel. Maybe if she's unconscious or whatever, if we throw a piece of Xehanort in there, then she can be basically what Shion or Roxas or Sora was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
It's like a really weird thought exercise, because it's like if they had Subject X this whole time in some type of way, and maybe like it just depends, like how much
Okay.
do they know about her, how much, like is she conscious, can they has she been like kind of in the similar vein to like what Aqua was doing for so long, has she just been kind of fighting off the darkness the whole time, right?
Okay.
Like
yeah, you're stepping into a huge part of what I what I gotta
Yeah,
bring up to you.
so
This is gonna be
that's
so
just-
I'm really excited.
that's the random mental gymnastics that I immediately go to, right, as a Kingdom Hearts fan. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
What
cool.
do you think?
So, shout out to my buddy Standard here in the chat who helped me grab some facts for what I'm about to pitch to you. I think it's because of the connection to his mother. In the finale of Dark Road, like the very last scene that plays after the credits, we cut to young Xehanort on Destiny Islands, like a very, very young Xehanort, like a child, with the player when he's in like his robe getup. And
Right.
Xehanort describes the 5 Dandelion leaders from seeing them in his dreams, specifically describing Skuld as a girl with dark hair like his mother. And everything I'm saying now hinges on Subject X being Skuld for the sake of this
Right,
conversation, everyone. So Subject X is Skuld for
That's
the
a fair
for the
assumption.
moment.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like the secret reports give us plenty of evidence, but I'll keep rolling here.
Right.
Xehanort expresses in the same scene that he wants to see his mother. He has a moment of dialogue. I don't remember the verbatim what the word for word is, but he wants to see her, and he claims that Skuld reminds him of her. We know from one of Lushu's secret reports in KH3 that he's the one who freed Subject X. So my theory here is that no matter how hard Ansem looks for her, he's never gonna find her because I don't think she exists in this point in time anymore. I think he managed to free her and send her back to at some point during the Missing Link era, whether it was when Ephemer was still alive or like during the time period that we'll be playing, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's a chance he managed to send her back. Maybe he like reused like one of the arcs pods, something like that. And that she could potentially be directly related to Ansem and Xehanort and all them. Maybe not the mother herself. Like if she got sent all the way back to reunite with Ephemer, maybe she's a distant related. Because we know too from that same finale scene that Ephemer is his ancestor. The player says verbatim that his blood runs in Xehanort's veins. One way or the other, to me, it feels too deliberate to make the point of Subject X's hair resembling the mother to not pay that off. They're very specific about that. And then her going through this, does just that. Achieves this end.
Right. No, I follow you. I think the other vein where my brain goes is like, okay, if she is conscious or whatever, but like clearly like she's Subject X, like she's like captured, like imprisoned by them, right?
Yeah.
And like, like Lee and Isa would like go and like see her and talk to her, like they'd sneak in and stuff, right? I think the idea that she basically was the same as Kyrie when Kyrie was a kid, where they're just sending her in the life pod and like there's a chance that like she ends up on the, because like in the cutscene we see where we see Kyrie's point of view where she's talking to like Terranort at that point, where he's like, there's a chance you end up on the other side or whatever, and like you'll never be able to come back. The idea that maybe that happened to her would make sense. And so
if we could see her in like Kingdom Hearts 4 and Quadratum,
KH4,
that'd be
that would make a lot of sense.
That'd be
to
sweet.
Me.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
And then you have like Strelitzia there too, so that's also like having Scold and Strelitzia there at the same time would be interesting.
Be sweet, yeah. You bringing that up too, like I low key furthered my idea because with bringing up Terranort and Kyrie, that's right there confirmation that he can still use the Arc to send people other places. That'd be really cool if it was to the other side. That's a fantastic idea.
Right. It's like it's a 5% chance that it happens, and like they had been using it on her, and like just she hadn't been finding what they wanted, and like they kept like recapturing her or something, and then one of the times they used it on her, she went to the other side. Would make sense to me as to why she's been MIA for so long. Yeah. Because like then if not like the other, like there's three. She's either locked up somewhere else, right?
Sure.
Or she's on the other side, or she was sent back to Missing Link era, right? Like
yeah. I think knowing that Lushu's the one that freed her, I don't think she's locked up somewhere else. But with how he treated the other Dandelion leaders at the end of Union Cross, like he was sympathizing with them, right? It wasn't his role to like dispose of them or like anything like that. It was nothing malicious. He's the reason that Brain ends up surviving. I think that if he's the one, right, who got Scold out of there, I don't think that it would be any kind of same thing, no kind of malicious outcome. I don't think she'd be locked up somewhere. I think she definitely got sent somewhere. It's just a matter of where.
Yeah, or when, yeah.
Or when, yeah. Where and when. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts are going to have me throwing a who in there next.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, you actually was sent directly into Streletzia's heart.
Yeah, Sean's is right because they're actually the same person now. Jeez.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Last thing I have to bring up here is I popped the question on the screen there a little too soon.
Mm.
It's kind of a culmination of everything, like almost everything that we've talked about is, considering him being his own person, his motives with Subject X, and all of this. Is he still a villain by the end? Not like implying a full redemption arc, because that'd be insane. I'm not trying to insinuate that, but if you were to put him on like a D&D alignment chart, where do you think he would start, and where do you think he falls in the end?
I don't know. I don't know. That's hard. Like,
Yeah.
at least to start, like, would you? Is he chaotic evil or is he lawful evil? Like
That was my conundrum with this, because
that's where I'm stuck. Like
it's funny because like you look at the actions that Ansem does throughout his time in the series, is particularly in the events of KH1 and prior to that, he does a lot of chaotic things. Like the things he does
Right.
are causing chaos, but he himself is not chaotic because he's methodical.
Right.
He has his plan. He sees the vision for the end results. I think
Yeah.
he's a lawful. I think he starts as a lawful evil,
Lawful-
but I'll pass it back
lawful
to you.
evil. Yeah, I guess. I think he's just lawful evil the whole time. Now that
Okay.
I think about it.
Cool.
Like he's just like from start to finish is lawful evil. Maybe he like wavers on like just like I guess it depends like if you yeah, I feel like he's just following the plan the whole time. Like from
Interesting. Okay.
from KH1 to KH3. Cuz like even when he's like, I just didn't care anymore, he still fights Sora and Riku and Mickey, right? Like, it's not
Okay.
like he completely bails or completely has a change of heart. It's like in his dying breath that he's like having this monologue,
Okay.
right? And I think part of it is like
Uh-huh.
a little bit meta, but like if I ignore the meta side of it, like
Okay, sure. I think that
Uh,
there's a decent amount of
he's still
organization
following the plan.
members who, are sticking it out just because maybe they feel like they have to. I feel like there was a good amount. Like he didn't care for it. Sayax didn't care for it. Shion didn't care for it. That's just off the top of my head. There might have been a couple others, but I don't know. Is there maybe like a sense of he had to, or just I don't know how to phrase this better, but just like didn't have. There was no point to backing out. Like even if he didn't want to, like what else is he gonna do?
Right, because he's like, I thought about defying my fate or whatever, right? But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
once everybody turned, I just found I didn't care anymore, right?
Yeah.
And like I just think he accepted he wanted what he wanted to have happen. Like he still wanted it. But
Yeah.
and I think that that's just like a core thing that maybe he doesn't fully understand himself at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like if I think about it from like his standpoint, right? Like if a
Sure.
bunch of if I'm like if I go into like the multiverse and I find out that like I'm the evil Jason, right? Like I'm the Jason full of darkness, and then I get to go and find out like, wait, I'm the evil. I'm like the darkness Jason. Okay.
Yeah.
And then like the like nobody Jason is like, yo, this is what we're doing. This is the reason we exist. And then the other Jason that like is like the full scheming one, like like basically Xehanort is like, yo, this is why we've done everything we have done for the last like 70 years. Then like I think I'm still committed to it at that point.
Yeah.
Right? Like I could see myself being like, okay, yeah, this is what I've done. And like he's also it's not like he hasn't done anything this whole time and that's why and he's like now being like told he's evil. Like he's just been doing evil things.
Yeah.
And then they just double down and triple down the enforcement from himself essentially that like this is what we're doing,
Yeah.
right? But I also think that he's just like tasted defeat a bunch of times, and so that's where he's like, there's like two ways
tired
you
of
can
it?
read the like. I thought about trying to defy my fate, whether or not that means to become good, and I think that's where a lot of people read it because they like him,
Yeah.
or defy my fate is in like, I'm just gonna find a way to win still somehow, some other way.
Oh.
The other me's are dumb.
Interesting.
I'm gonna do it through this way.
Yeah, I read
I
that
could
more
see
as
it
just
being
him just
in
heading
that way
out.
as well. Right.
The surprise third option.
Yeah.
Um.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say he's the same the whole way through. It's just that like by the end, it's like, well, I've fought these two boys a bunch of times between myself and other versions of myself. Like your main op in life, that person,
Yeah.
who like has been like just foiling your plans the whole time. He just keeps beating you and other like multiverse versions of you. Maybe you give up, you know? Like I can't blame him.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll go down swinging, but it's the end of the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then that changes the part about him not caring as well. 'Cause, it's like we may as well lose one more time.
Right.
Just like tap out. Well, I know how this
Go out in
ends.
a blaze of glory.
Yeah. Cool. This is I've been enjoying these questions a lot more where we have different different takes.
Mhm.
It's really fun to hear. Which is the whole point of this, because I'm not trying to
Right.
Yeah. Sick of regurgitation,
Makes
which
it
is
more,
the
more
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because I have an easier time getting behind the idea that Ansem's not like a full-on villain by the end anymore, more than like this pitch that Master Xehanort is trying to sell in his outro monologue, like framing himself in this sympathetic light. Like, I was only trying to do what was best for the world, yada, blah, blah, blah. Like, Ansem committed, like, heinous crimes. Like, he's plunging worlds into darkness in Kingdom Hearts 1, the whole terror situation that we talked about, literally possessing a child.
Right.
Like, he's not a character who's worthy of redemption. So, like, again, not trying to, like,
Right.
say that at all. But I don't think that inherently means he's like doomed to the villain role. Like I have the different take for his outro monologues. The part of me wanted to define my fate, but when the others betrayed us, I found I didn't care. I interpret that as I don't care about Master Xehanort's plan anymore. And like to me, it's someone who doesn't care about the organization at large anymore. To me, that's him telling us that he'd rather be doing his own thing. And going off of the last point that we talked about with Subject X, maybe him defying his fate is him looking for this girl that reminded him of his mother. And in regard to like the Ants and the Wise in Twilight Town, like their conversation that they had in front of the mansion, he tells Ansem to make things right while they're speaking about all of Ansem the Wise's victims, like all the children that he quote sacrificed. Make things right isn't something that a villain looks for. You know, I was rewatching all the cutscenes to prep for this, and I heard that line come out of his mouth. I paused to like a triple take. What just happened? I don't. To me, he's not giving like any kind of malicious energy anymore. Like he I don't know. And you know, in that same cutscene too, when like Pence approaches, right? Like Kingdom Hearts 1, he would have just done away with him immediately. At this point, he's like trying to like back him off. He's like, there's a civilian child. He's like, no, don't come over here. He doesn't do anything until Hayner throws hands, and it's not even Ansem.
Right.
The Guardian like auto responds. Like that whole cutscene to me is like illustrating how Ansem just doesn't care about the organization anymore and doesn't really care about being a villain anymore.
Hmm.
Uh,
I feel like you
Does
could
that-
argue that
is
that's
that
like
it?
an efficiency thing, right? It's like,
okay.
is it efficient for me to kill every kid that like runs into me while I'm doing my goal? Maybe not, you know.
Maybe not. Okay. Interesting. Do you think the KH1 Ansem would have or would not have? Well, when I frame it like that, does that change it at all?
Would KH1 Ansem just immediately one tap Pence immediately when he shows
Yeah,
up?
essentially.
Nah, he's too much of a monologuer, dude. He's too much
Okay.
of a monologuer. Like he
Neat.
would have at least been like, and this is why I'm gonna kill you, kind of thing, right? Which
But still
I would
leading to
argue
killing
that's
him.
kind of what he was doing, right? And then Hayner like
really?
mid monologue goes to kick him, right? So
Yeah. Oh, Mike thinks he
I think you
knows
could
that Pence
argue.
is too powerful and might have a point there.
yeah, he could
Uh,
sense his aura.
Yeah. You ever see the Giga Pence mod for KH3? Like they replaced the tram with him and he's huge.
Yeah.
That's what Ansem sees in him in that moment.
Right. He could feel the aura.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me with like the alignment thing, I already mentioned I think he starts as like this lawful evil, and we talked about why. I feel like by the end he's lawful neutral. You know, with this whole not giving a crap anymore about anything going on. It's like he's still doing the evil things, but like he doesn't necessarily care about them. And he could be on you could reverse that as well. If he was on the Guardians of Light side, if he didn't care, I think I'd say the same thing, lawful neutral. Like hey, regardless, like you're just going through motions at this point. You know what I mean? Does that make more sense?
I could see that. I just feel like his cornerstone being darkness is where
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, but like, is his new thing gonna be like actually neutral or just a different evil? And I would assume that it's a different evil.
Okay.
Right? Especially in like contrast to like Riku, who is like clearly good, right? Like
Yeah.
So or like Axel, right? Like where or like at least like he's in the middle of changing his mind, Axel, right? Like by Cage 3 just clearly is a good guy. But like when Axel is like, I'm doing this for my friends for my own thing. Like I don't think that that's Ansem at the end. I think he's still evil. I think maybe he doesn't care about the organization, but like my guy's made of darkness. He's the seeker of darkness.
Okay, true. All right.
Like
fair.
how he got there is by just like, yo, this voodoo shit, I need to research it as much as possible. It's consumed my mind and my heart. Like I don't know that his new spin on things would be good.
Yeah.
And that's why like if he came back, I feel like he would still be seeking the darkness, you know?
Yeah. Like I don't think I agree. I don't think there's ever a scenario in any version of this in any reality where he's a good guy. Not trying to frame that at all. Like that.
Yeah. I just don't even see him as like the KH2 Axel or like the like rechain Axel kind of. I don't even see him as that really.
So I think he kind of hit the nail on the head with the different type of evil. Maybe for me, like I'm thinking of this in terms of our conversation that we had before. If he were to show up in Quadratum, right, and just be grappling with the darkness, lack of darkness, whatever his story is. If he kind of goes, like if Kingdom Hearts 1, he starts at peak darkness, dips down to not caring, and then goes back up to this is my. I'm doing my own thing now. There's no Nort Court pulling my strings. I can go about my life in the way that I want it, and this is my new path with darkness, and
right,
kind of like reignites something.
I I think Zenith in the chat makes a really good point. Like, is Marluxia any less evil in Chain of Memories, knowing that it's because he's fighting Xemnas and he's doing his own thing? Like, is Marluxia like he's still a bad guy, right? Like, he's still manipulating Naminé and Sora. Like,
Yeah.
he's still evil. He wants to do something that is like understandable and relatable, like get back to his sister and like not be a pawn to Xemnas, but he's just, when you compare, it's like a whole perspective thing, right? Like when you compare it to like Sora and Aqua, they're both still evil. And that's kind of where I'm at with it, where it's like I think they're lawful evil still, and I would say that like a lot of what Xehanort does is lawful evil too, right? But like at least how it's like framed by the end, right? But like I definitely think he's just lawful evil the whole time for me because of that.
To that end, with the whoops, not me moving your camera back. I clicked on OBS. With
Just trying to make me small, guys.
with the comparison against Marluxia, right? Where Marluxia is like actively also still doing evil things. I'd bring up the counterpoint with Ansem in KH3. Like, sure, he fights Sora, and everyone in the Keyblade Graveyard. I feel like we talked about that already, though. He's kind of, going through motions, and whether or not he wants to, he's just like, I'm here. Let's go ahead. Whether or not he's like full on with the team or not. Outside of that, in all of Kingdom Hearts 3, the only other thing that he does that you would call evil, I guess, would be sending Aqua into the water. And even with that scene, I would argue that one, he was ignoring that she was even there until she put herself in the middle of it. And after putting her into the water, like doing that, he's fully aware that the other Guardians of Light are going to come down and save her. Like, this isn't a permanent situation. He's just getting her off his back. While that is not, obviously that is not a good thing to do. I don't, again, I think he just does it for the sake of, I'm busy, get out of my way, rather than
right. And I would say that that's what he would have done to Pence if like things didn't.
Yeah.
Go differently,
yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So I don't know. I still think he.
Ooh, that's interesting.
He's just like, there's the cornerstone of light, bro. Is the cornerstone
of darkness.
Cornerstone to darkness. You know, like.
Cool.
That's just who he is to me.
Mm-hmm. Sweet, dude. This one was really fun. I like Cornerstone of Darkness. You get the wait until that's in the series. You gotta trademark that now.
And some COD.
Yeah.
Not Call of Duty.
Not Call of Duty. Ooh, that one was really fun. I like that we didn't. I feel like both. Like, I completely understand your take, and I think that's
right.
Really,
no, yeah, I understand yours for sure too.
That
it's
fun.
Like a lot of these have like very obvious like two ways you can go, and I don't think that either of them are like provably wrong or provably right.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, this one's all interpretation.
Right.
And then you have the third
maybe
version,
certain things with Subject X might incline us a certain way, or Missing Link maybe, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah. We just need the that mystery third option of the person who interprets his dialogue at the end as I want to be a good guy actually, and then bully them into the ground. No, I'm just kidding. If there's any of you in the chat, I'm just kidding. Legally,
I'm a good guy now.
Yeah. That's all I got. Is there anything you'd like to bring up, or? No pressure. If not, we can bully the chat into making them do the work for us.
No, not that I can really think of.
Okay. Yeah, we cover a lot of good stuff here, I think.
Yeah.
Did I successfully manage to bring up anything that you haven't talked about, Ansem, before? Uh-oh.
I don't know what all I've talked about Ansem. Like
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
been so many years. Like in between like podcasting and streaming, it's like, oh my god, dude, like I don't know.
Right.
I've had like even in just like the long conversations at like 3 a.m. kind of thing.
Mm.
Like I have no idea. I'm
Yeah.
sure there was. I'm sure there was, but
Cool.
not that I can really put my finger on exactly.
Right. Sure.
I think the other thing, especially, I'm like a little proud of myself for this because I haven't talked about Kingdom Hearts extensively in a really long time.
Yeah.
Nor have I like really played them in a minute, just because like there's just been like no news. Like I played like KH randos and stuff, but like as far as like the story aspect of it, like I haven't sat down and like watched cutscenes for Kingdom Hearts in a really really long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mike makes a good point. We have forgotten more about Ansem than most people ever even knew. Like
What a flex.
yeah, so that's the boy. But
Boy.
I think I don't know that I've really talked about like his like inclination towards like Subject X before. I don't know if I have.
Okay.
That's
cool.
probably if I had to choose one
Sure.
that's most likely to have not been talked about, probably that.
Right. Sweet. I'll take the win.
Yeah.
Nice. All right then. Chad, this is your part. If there's anything that you guys would like to bring to us to yap about, now's your chance. If not, that'll be the run. I like why is he so tan? I would like to reverse that and say why did they whitewash him moving forward?
He just ran out of spray tan, guys. It's not that deep. He doesn't have as much time to go stand in the cylinder, put the little
Sure.
goggles on. Like he just doesn't have enough time.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. I'm looking forward to continuing this. Very excited to continue this. Why is Jason so high? Ansem was a robed heart on Destiny Islands for Riku's
See, my parents are both of European descent, and I don't leave my room.
And OBS was being a bit of a pain, as you guys saw at the beginning. Ansem was a robed heart on Destiny Islands for Riku's entire childhood, even before Terra showed up. Do you think he had to ramp up the influencing after that interaction? Did he plan for Riku to be the Keyblade Master all along and mostly ignore Sora? Or did he only make his choice after that? This has many parts. Where did I stop reading it? Sora, did he make his choice after that interaction? Do you think either of them could be the child of destiny? Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
I mean, like, if you compare him to like Terra, like Terra is literally just like surrounded with like light and like good and Keyblades and being a Keyblade master as like all he wants to be. And then he still succumbs to darkness. So I don't think that like the interaction with Terra to be like, oh, protect what matters, which is like Terra's like slogan. Riku hearing Terra's slogan, I don't think would like. I mean, at least like if Sack Ansem knew, right? Like Sack Ansem wouldn't be like, oh no, he was told by this one dude one time what happened or something, right? And it's like, also how much does he know through like the Keyblade like no name or whatever, like all that stuff. So there's a lot of like question marks there. I don't know. I don't think that he would have really had to if like he pings him as like there's darkness in there, like a lot of darkness. So no matter what, I think I'm good kind of thing is what I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, I don't have all too much to add after that. I just don't think that you'd have to really try all that hard. You said it well. I don't think just one sentence from Terra would be enough to alter Riku's entire brain chemistry.
Right.
Granted, he holds on to that and repeats it later in the series.
When he's like 5 years old.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think that he planned for Riku to be the Keyblade Master. I think that. I guess that's kind of a cut and dry one, huh? I think he was mostly ignoring Sora, yes, but mostly because he saw in Riku kind of what we were talking about earlier in the show. Jay put this pretty well about how Ansem can kind of sense darkness in someone. I think that he could see kind of in Riku, whether it was when he was a literal child or when he grew up a little bit, but he definitely could tell, I think, by just being around them that
Well,
you go ahead.
I think the other layer to it is like at a certain point, then Ventus is in Sora's heart, right? And so like,
Ooh. Yeah,
I
yeah.
could see him just being like, cause like,
Yeah, because he wouldn't have known Ventus was in there, but I guess he probably still could have felt like some kind of like amplified, something or other, and
Like-
just know for a fact that it wouldn't have
Right.
worked.
right, and I could definitely see that, or like, well, and like, Ventus being like added to him would have been just like straight light buff, right? So,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see him. Like if they remade KH1, I would like bet that there's like some scene where like maybe he contemplates manipulating Sora, but then there's
Yeah.
like a light that like it like blinds him for a second. He's like, "What? What is going on with
Ooh,
this
that's
boy?"
interesting.
Kinda
I
thing.
like that.
I could see that.
Yeah, yeah. Put that
Um,
into the
or-
the scene in the cave. 'Cause it's that goes off of something I said earlier
Right.
too. Like I was
Yeah.
suggesting that like that's why he confronts him to like just like check between the two of them, like who can I use here, and just if he were to have that moment with like the light flash after that interaction, just solidify it's got to be Riku.
Well, and I think that you could easily be like have him do the flash, and like during the flash, he like sees Ventus, not
Ooh,
Sora,
okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because like the same thing happens with Shion and Zigbar, where he's like, "Why is it when I look at you, I see him?"
Mm-hmm.
And like you think it's like Sora, but then it's actually Ventus, right? So it's like
Right.
Ventus's aura is like already proven to be there, right?
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of sense to me.
I wonder if that gave Zigbar any idea that Ventus was there the whole time. I wonder if he knew because he saw Ventus and Shion. That's a question for another episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
The Zigbar character file.
Yeah. And then did he think either of them could be the child of destiny? To me, that one's pretty to the point. No, because he thinks he is the child of destiny. Like he was told that ever since. It's the same finale scene at the very tail end of Dark Road when the player tells Xehanort that he's the child of destiny. So I don't think that he would have thought that of Sora or Riku because he thinks he is him and that's why he's on this entire path.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Jason is full of light. What happened to Cornerstone of Darkness? Was that not the same conversation?
Oh no, because March Caprice said, "Why is Jason so white?"
Oh, right.
It's because
right.
I'm full of light.
Best KH3 data battle will not be taking questions. I won't give you any. Let's see. If it necessarily means one child of destiny. This spills into something I'm planning on talking about with Sora down the line. I think it there's a theory between Sora and his connection to Kingdom Hearts. So I do think that there is one child, personally. It's been haunting it for years. It's crazy. Did Terra transfer the power to Riku? Yeah, Terra did that himself. It was his own choice and free will, so I don't think that Xehanort, or Ansem rather, could have influenced that.
Like the bestowing of a Keyblade.
Right. Yeah. Does he still think it's him, though? Because he does suggest to Ericus that it could be Ventus.
I think you could still chalk that up to him like scheming, right? Like,
Yeah.
need to find the child of destiny.
Right.
They
like,
don't know it's me.
Exactly. Yeah, utilizing the tools at your disposal to get Ericus lowering his guard.
Yeah, and like the means justify the ends. That it's like, oh, it's because I'm trying to find the child of destiny, even though he knows it's him, or at least that's his truth. You know.
Yeah. Xena says, I have lots of questions about Xehanort's childhood. Riku mentions how his friend's dad rose them out to the island, implying Sora's father. So that means Xehanort grew up with Sora's parents on the island.
Maybe his grandparents. 'Cause it's,
Yeah,
like,
grandparents
older.
or great-great-grandparents. You look at the age of Master Xehanort as opposed to Sora and Riku.
I mean,
Uh,
there could even be some type of like inference that like, oh, maybe like Xehanort's related to Riku, like that's why they have the silver hair kind of thing,
That'd be
and
cool.
the amount of darkness. It's like
Yeah.
Ephemer, Xehanort, Riku.
that would give another layer too to why he targets Riku. Maybe there's an element of this that we're just unaware of. If there's a familial
Right.
tie, that'd be pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I'm not as big on like the familial tie things. I always feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of like
I
it's kind of contrived at that point. to me.
yeah. With where we're at right now in this
Like in Star
conversation, I
Wars.
agree. Yeah. I think the only
Everyone's related to someone.
right. With Kingdom Hearts 3 took the story in this direction where they're like really focusing on the concept of love, and I think they're taking that and kind of segueing a bit into like the family aspect. They're kind of like they're kind of on similar paths, kind of parallel in a way. And with Missing Link, they're with exploring bloodlines, and we have Xehanort talking about his mom, and we have what do they call it? Blue Bloods, the Keyblade wielders from ancient time who have their lineage. I think there's an extent of this that'll play into the story, but I don't really want to see it be like a super major thing that affects every character that we already know. That would be a bit much.
Right. I like it in the context of that story where
Yeah.
it's like, there's like a whole like bloodline thing to it. I think when that's like a key part of it,
Yeah.
in that aspect, I like it, but not how it would like affect like everything ever. I'm not a
Right.
fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the darkness gene, it skips a generation.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let me see. I think that
It skipped Ephemer.
skipped after me. I think that about
Ephemer's dad, evil as hell.
Oh, forget about it. I think that about wraps it up. Guys, if you're not already following the Super Spaghetti Bros, they are tagged in the title of the stream. Once again, for those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the show, Jay is one half of the Super Spaghetti Bros, and one of the hosts of the longest-running, award-winning Kingdom Hearts podcast, The Anthems Report. So follow them. If you enjoy the show, do yourself the favor. Jay, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, dude.
I did the thing. Now I'm looking at the both screens. I went the whole show. Yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a banger. I thought it was fun. I'm glad to be here for March Caprice in some way. Find some time for it, and I think it was good. I think it was a banger first episode for you for your character files.
Thank you.
And you'll just get better at it as you go. It's one of those things where you'll find your
Oh,
flow.
yeah.
You'll find your like when you watch the very first Hot Ones, like he's not like as good as he is now, right? Like he's
night and
just
day.
goated now, but like you'll get way better at it too. And
Cool.
like
Appreciate that.
I'm excited to watch.
Sweet. That feels good. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You guys were all also here at March Caprice 5, where you got to see the first character files. So you guys were here too. So you'll all get to see the transformation.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah, in the chat, all of you. I have more thank yous and everything to give to everyone. Well, Jay, I guess I'll let you go here. Thank
May
you.
your heart be your guiding key.
May your heart be your guiding key.
Later, guys.
Later, man. Sweet. Yeah. Here we go. I'm gonna talk to you guys for just another minute here, and we will find someone. I think I was the last March Caprice event for today. So we might end up raiding Graven. So don't go anywhere if you would like to stay for the raid and say hello to Riku's voice actor. Thank you guys, all of you, so much for hanging out for this. I've been looking forward to starting this show for a long time. That was a very, very fun first episode. That was exactly what I wanted it to be. Yeah! Thank you, Mike. Sean's, thank you, Pink Blue. Character Files lie. That's right, Folsey. May the darkness within, or may darkness within darkness await you. Hell yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you to Cheney and March Caprice for putting this whole week on and letting us be a part of it. Thanks, Sahara Infinity, for making all the graphics that you guys saw on the stream and making the show look as good as it did. This will be going up on YouTube, hopefully over the weekend. If any of you didn't catch the whole show and would like to see the rest of it, if you came in late, anything like that, it'll be up on my YouTube channel. Same name as this channel is called. For those of you who followed, for the many of you who followed during the episode, first of all, thank you. What we're doing on the stream right now is playing Kingdom Hearts 1 with a guitar. Just to plug myself here real quick, this is my current controller. We're doing a Run of KH1 on that. Be doing more of that on Sunday. Do I have anything else to say here? Our second episode of the Character Files will be sometime next month. It will be on Axel. I have a few people that I need to... I have a short list of names that Twitter gave me. So the guest is currently in the works, but there will be an announcement video that I will post as soon as I lock someone in. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Gardeners. Very excited for the next one. Shall we raid? I go by Graven. He's playing Outer Wilds. I think this is his first night on stream actually playing a game. I'll get it memorized. Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it. What should our raid message be? We gotta have an actual, like, synchronized raid message this time. We can't do my stinky ones. Do we hit him with a Happy March Caprice again? He hit 1,000 followers today. Do we do congrats on 1K? Would that be better? I know he got a Happy March Caprice raid yesterday. Yeah? Okay, cool. I like that. Okay, cool. So here, let me make this raid message up. Oh, true. True. For subs, you can either do the congrats on 1K with the Rikugasm, or you can do it with the Strelitzia, whichever one your vibe is. I might go with the Rikugasm. That's really funny. If you are not subbed, let me grab you global emote here. Do. Bear with me as I find one. Surely there's just like, oh, here we go. I was looking for the regular heart. Okay, cool. And if you're not subbed, there you go. Congrats on 1K. Copy paste your raid message. Also, I'm going to drop the Discord link in the chat here real quick for everyone who's new. If there's anyone who, enjoyed the stream and would like to, be around for anything, everything, you can join. Utz and Boots, Han McKinley, G Meister, March Caprice, absolutely Aba, not Roxas, The Flash, Scoodly Bop, Yo Dizzle, Zenith, and Kate Cloud. Thank you all for all of the follows during this. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Looking forward to meeting you guys. Let's raid Graven. Sweet. Here we go. Good night, everyone. Thank you for this.
35 viewers. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Oof.